Welcome, welcome everyone. Jewel, congrats on first, Lulu on second. How is everyone doing? Sorry if I sound a little tired slash low energy. Took a nap earlier. Feel good though, so um I think today's gonna be a chill day. We've got Yo Korth, welcome in. How's it going? Good to see ya. Hey, welcome, welcome. We got a new Genshin event. Oh, we got a new Genshin event today. Fully releases Friday, so we got that for the next week. Interesting. Doing bad. Oh no, what's wrong, Lulu? I'm sorry. Well, if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. I hope things go well. Um, if you want to talk about it in the Discord, we do have a channel for venting as well. Um, but if you don't want to talk about it, I hope you feel better. Um, but yeah, hopefully, you're able to just relax and chill out here. I'm glad to see you. We'll be finishing up the event today, and then trying to get um the last two event endings for Lynette's Hangout. Depression having a bad day, I think is what you meant. Yeah, no, yeah, no, I understand that. That's rough. I'm sorry. Um, I can relate to that definitely though. Um, but yeah, if you want to vent about anything specifically or whatever, we do have a channel for that in the Discord. Um, but I just hope that you know, hopefully, just being here kind of puts a bit of a smile on your face, and I hope that your day tomorrow is even better. Um, but yeah, so we've got a new event coming up, or a new event that started today. Fully releases Friday. Um, and then I don't know. Yeah, we may start it today, but we'll definitely get through the other event today and Lynette's Hangout. And depending on where we're at time wise, we may hop into Wind Waker after, and just do a little bit there. Um, but yeah, gotta stay happy. Yeah, definitely. It's easier said than done sometimes, but um, you know, that's kind of the trick, right? Don't be sad, people. Exactly. We've got where's drop some dokies in chat if you got them. Here we go. Um, all right. Let's hop over into this fun game here. Oh, let me unmute it for myself as well. There we go. Yeah, I hope everyone had a good weekend at least. Yo, Tony, welcome in. Oh,
We've encountered a lot of interesting animals lately, but they're not exactly the types of animals you can play with. They're either super big or super wet.
hmm?
Anyway, Paimon wants to play with something small, cute, and cuddly.
Oh, right.
Oh, like a cat.
The cat event.
How about we head to the cat's tail in Mondstadt and have a look around?
I forgot about the cat event. I just saw the thing for it too yesterday. Wait, hello? I'll get those later. This one. Oh, look at them. Oh, this one's got like a little scar on his face. Oh my goodness. Yo, Jua, thank you for the 4 months. All the dokes for Lou because we're here for you. Exactly. Yeah. I like to think of the community as a big group of friends. And, it's definitely good to support each other. Even if you don't necessarily know or speak to other people, you never know what someone's going through. And we all go through stuff. I think it's just good to be there for people, even just in words or in spirit. But thank you, I really appreciate that, Jua. Thank you for the message and thank you for the 4 months. It really means a lot to me as well. Oh my gosh, we can get a... Oh, look at him! A unexpected adopted fantastic feline. We can give the... Oh, what's the dog's name? The dog with the sword in his mouth and the hat that I keep in the teapot. We can give him a buddy. Oh my gosh. Throne of Meower. That's funny. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're definitely gonna have to start this event, I think. But let's finish up rolling Crossfire. A big happy family? Exactly. So this is fully unlocked. And then I'm pretty sure we only have 2... Okay, that's that. I'm pretty sure we only have the 2 events... Or sorry, the 2 endings. Yep, for Lynette. Okay. I'll use, you know, I'll start working through these Hangout events, because, there's a lot here that I haven't done. This is the only content that I've really been, like, putting off. Yo, Core, thank you for the 2 months with Prime. I really appreciate that. Oh, hype train incoming. Oh my gosh, thank you guys for the hype train. Y'all are so sweet. Y'all are great. But yeah, this is the only content that I haven't really done, except for Noelle's, with all of her endings. And then everything else just kind of fell to the wayside. But it's here, and I really don't have any reason to not do it. So, we'll work... They're all unlocked, too, is the thing. I'm pretty sure I've unlocked them all. And I'm still maxed out on keys. So we'll get through those in the upcoming streams. Let's together because families forever. It sounds like a Need for Speed quote. Is that a quote from Need for Speed? I feel like that's the Need for Speed quote. We're going up here, and I'll put on some good vibe music too. I will turn off the in-game music.
We're ready. Meet me. I'll be there.
Exactly, that too. I love Fontaine's music, especially the battle music, and I've recently been listening back to the one battle theme that's got the bit of the Narzazen Quartz Ordo theme sprinkled in there, and I absolutely love that they did that. So I've been listening to that for the past few days. Let's put on... What's a good one to start out with? Color Wheel, I think, is good. Wait, what was the question? Couldn't figure out how to Prime sub for a minute. Oh, yeah, no worries. I honestly, I have Prime, and I don't know how to Prime sub. So mine's still not given out. Yo, Miko, welcome in. Miko first, yes. They hid the Prime sub. They really did. Also, I totally forgot about shoutouts. Jewel, can you start with Lulu shoutout and then give Miko one next? Or sorry, give 21 and then Miko one, since Tony did hop in here for a second. I need to get better at these. I really need to get better at the shoutouts. I'm so sorry, people who I love supporting as well. My friends who are also streamers. I'm so sorry. My brain is just, sometimes it's too big to remember everything, if that makes sense. No, it's a relatively normal brain, and it's very forgetful, so I apologize. I forget all the time. Yeah, but Miko, you're really good at doing shoutouts the moment that someone pops in, I think. Which I think is really awesome of you, and it's really, really sweet and really kind. Let's see. Are there any new rules here? Continuously pulls nearby slimes and deals physical damage. I do like physical damage. Very few things have physical resistance, I think. Oh, Lulu, you're heading out? Oh, shoot. Why can't I... Oh, there we go. Oh, no. And dogs. Hang on. Oh, no. Things are going on. Learn from the best. Yes. You gotta tell me who the best is and introduce me to them. Alright, but Lulu, yeah, take care. Oh, why are they coming closer? Why are they coming closer? I missed. Why are they coming closer? Don't do that. Don't do that. Why are you coming closer? No, 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 no. Go over there. No! Why are you coming closer? This is chill. We're having fun here. I've also not been paying attention to the amount, or not the amount, what is it? The colors, the types of spheres that we're shooting. Shoot, immune. I can't. Why are these all cryo? But okay, Lulu, I hope you feel better. You know, thanks for stopping in. Shoot, missed. Oh no, oh no. This is going great. This is going well. Swimmingly. Get out of here. You too. And you. You. Shoot, missed that one. Thank you for the shout out to Tony as well. Oh no. Oh no. Why did it get closer? Why did that one get closer? There. Okay. Swimmingly marvelous. Oh boy, that was just stage 2. But we got everything we needed. Alright. Block all... Oh, piercing shells can destroy, but it blocks other shells other than piercing. Got it. As long as you get above 4K, you're fine. Is that for all stages? Because if so, that's a good number to keep in mind. Yes? Awesome. Out of here. Okay. I don't have... Darn it. Move, move, move. Also, they're not moving closer now. Ooh, wait. That... Give? There we go. You in the back. And you... Wait. Shoot. I don't know what that does. I don't remember. Is that to... Okay, I think that's to destroy all the ones of that type. Yes, okay, cool. From a certain stage, we'll have the slimes move towards you. Okay. Well, also good to know. You. And then... You. Move. 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 Thank you. Cool. No, move. Oh, you... And... Nice. Oh, we're good. We're good. We're past 4K. Darn it. Look at the left bit. 9,400, jeez. And thank you for the shout out to Miko as well. The stage you somehow got 9780 on and never relived that level of skill. Tony knows since she was streaming then. Interesting. Wow, yeah, no, I don't know how to, I don't know how, but congrats. Oh no, I should probably check on my dogs if they keep barking up a storm like that. They're usually fine after a little bit. I can usually tell when it's something that needs attention. Okay. No, don't move closer. Don't do that. Nice. Okay, but now I think I have a goal to reach. Oh shoot, come on. That's not fair. No, that's not fair. Stop that. Let's see. I think I'm on track to, Nope. Okay, well. In the back. Dang it. Oh. And you. Stop that. Let's see. What was it? 9780 was the one to beat? Although that was for the other one, not necessarily for this one, so it may not be a fair comparison. Oh, that was. Spray and pray, boys. Spray and pray. Alright. Got them. Oh, that's great. Nice. Gonna lurk, have a good stream. Thanks, Miko. Thank you for the lurk. 9780 was for stage 3, not stage 4. Definitely not a fair comparison. That's fair. Alright. 13 by 40. But that is my highest score for my own PB, so maybe we'll go back and redo some of these. Oh yeah, I'm sure we can get higher ones on those. Just for fun. Limit testing. Solid strikes are divided into those 3. After a solid strike is hit by any shell, it will immediately defeat all slimes of that same elemental type of that. Wait a second. That was the same thing they introduced here. Okay, so it's just... Got it. Oh, it's... I understand. Okay. Okay, this is gonna be everything. This is for all the marbles. All the cannonballs. And all the cryo slime jellies. I can't do anything with that one. Okay, just cycle it out, I guess. That's the move. Ooh. Move. Nice. Okay, we can break it now, right? Oh, it just goes away. Okay, that worked. You be there. So shoku mekuru oto ga enameru kara. I don't know, man. Shoot. I'm throwing. Shoot. Dang it. I hate this. Get out of here. Dang it. There we go. Oh, nice. Oh, that was the wrong one. Move. Thank you. That was the wrong one. Okay, this isn't going according to the plan. Also, why was that like a bar instead of a timer? Okay. Let's go back and try and get higher scores on these first couple. I thought there were more stages. Ori no nakare tsumakatta mama Misetsu ga hiki dokomade mo kyokie. Don't be there. Thank you. I'm focused. I'm honed in now. Okay, well. That works. Can I get you? No. Okay. Move. Move. Nice. No! The one that I didn't want. Okay. Please. Okay, well, we beat the score. Records 7120, 7860, 9780, 14260, and 17078. Oh my gosh. 17078 or 17084 on the last one. What did I get? You got a whole 10,000 more than me, just about, on that last one. Nice. Okay, let's first one was rough. Let's just move on to the second one. Improve our 5680 score. Also, how's the music volume for everyone? I messed with it in OBS again. So now it should be at the same level that I'm hearing it. I'll try to increase it later if it's still too quiet for, you know, for people watching. Because I can only have it, you know, so loud before I can't even hear my own thoughts. Okay, you. And then you. Nice. Sure. There we go. So it doesn't matter if they get closer to you then, right? Nope, not what I meant. Knocked him into the other one. Nice. Not what I meant to do. There he goes. I should have hit the other one. Okay, cool. 77, we did better. If they cross the red line at the bottom of the field, they escape and you get no points for them. Okay, so there's no detriment. It's just lost points, but not like you lose points you've already accumulated or anything. Oh wait, yeah, we did that. Okay. Let's see if I can beat 94k, or 9400 was Tony's, 9780 was Jua's. Let's see what we can do here. Alright. Focusing up. Shoot, I should have gotten for the... That worked. Oh. That also works. Move, thank you. Okay, I want that. Oh, that was a little cheap. Oh, but they... Huh? No. I got ripped off there. Shoot. Nope. Some of these aren't fair. Ooh, I'll take that. No. Give me something else. Come on. Yeah, like that thing over there. Dang it. Shoot. Uh-oh. Okay. Um, I think we can do better. I think we can do better than 80... Whatever it was. Forgot the number now. That one where it gave me nothing for like 3 seconds was a little annoying. Okay, ooh, take that. Knock them off. Oh, cool. Okay, pointless there, I think. Please, yes. Okay. Nice. I think that was a good use of that. Shoot. Move. No. Move. Come on. That's annoying. Ooh. Shoot. Oh, wait, did we get that at the end? 8840. Um, Breaking the barriers with piercing shots can really help you out instead of waiting. Um, but the piercing shots are the ones you get from the thing, right? You can't get piercing shots other than that. Maybe I had an opportunity and I missed it. Let me try it again then. Maybe I was not thinking properly. Oh, shoot. Yeah, these things right here. Are these not the only way to get piercing shots? Move! Dang it. Oh, that was a waste. No. Ah. I don't know what I was going for there. Oh my goodness. Wait, was that? I missed that. Oh my goodness. That's... I understand now, I think. What I was... I don't know how to get it, though. I don't remember. The thing, piercing shot charge up over time when there's a blue field around the cannon. The message that a piercing shot is ready pops up. Just walk into the field and fire. Oh, I was just not walking up in the field. Oh, I see. Rappers aren't piercing shots, they're rapid fire. But are they not also piercing? Oh, not piercing, they're physical. Okay. Well, now I understand that I was just not in the zone. Like, literally not in the zone. Because I guess I have to be closer for that. So let's just keep Noelle up here. We can also move faster this way. There we go. Yo. Okay. But that's still gonna... Yeah, be immune. Got it. No! I meant to hit that thing. Let's go. It'd be cool, but also really, cheap if the... Okay. There we go. Can you move, please? Thank you. Just give me that. Nice. Okay, this didn't turn out to be a good... I mean, it was a good round, but it wasn't better. Was it? 9340. Wait, is that the... It feels like the exact same score I got last time. I don't know, but 9340 is the PB for that one. Let's try the first one again. We can do better than 6320. But I don't know if there are any piercing shots on this level. Yeah, okay, there are piercing shots. It's on every level then. Cool. I am learning. Learning things I should have learned on the first day, but it's fine. Cool. Smell of corn wine and faint smile on his face. Words could be barely overheard. Cool. Great. Okay. Cool. Just gonna... I guess. Was found a happy him. Is enjoying every day such a sin. That works. Oops. I probably should have aimed that lower. In the 8800 something, like their first person record. Okay, nice. Well, even knowing the stuff I didn't do as well, I think part of it's like slightly RNG, but you know, definitely also just skill issue. Okay, cool though. We got all the things. Let's talk to... What are their names again? Okay, cool. Reju and Janae. The data indicates that this invention is a success. Thank you both. Yep, thanks. See, I told you this would go well. With your genius in play, Freju. I forget. Freju, this remote-controlled cannon thing was a piece of cake. I suppose. In that case, let's get cracking with the next awesome gadget. And I have a great idea for one too. What? What about an airship that can explore the skies? Or a megadrill that can bore deep underground? Feels like she's trying to make his life difficult on purpose. Those might be a bit of a tall order. I mean, you're the one who rejected the Institute's offer 3 times. I'm sure you can make stuff even they can't, right? Of course. I can only say that it will be tricky, but it's not a big deal. You know what? I don't want those things anymore. Flying up into the sky or delving into the earth both sound boring. It's cold up there and it's stuffy down there. I share that sentiment. Yeah, I'm sure you do. In that case, could you make something that we'd use normally? Ooh, that's right. I love sleeping in the morning, so could you make me an automatic oven that bakes on its own? Well now, that sounds possible. Her earlier suggestions were intentionally impossible, I think. Alright, let me consider how this might be designed. Nice. I'll take that as an agreement. And if it does prove impossible, you'll just have to make me breakfast in the future, Avery. Oh, shoot. Wait. She likes him. Wait, that was kind of smooth. What? What sort of request is that? In any case, you needn't worry. I'm sure such a small invention is well within my skill. I am, after all, a genius. Hey, yo, that's what I'm saying. Okay, wait. Do they have anything else to say? How are the experiments? Okay, we already did that. Okay, I don't think they're gonna have new dialogue. But I'm gonna check with, Chine first. It was cool learning that, like, he saved a bunch of people, and she was the one he ended up saving, and doesn't even remember. It's a rather novel experiment. You don't sound excited. Okay, yeah. Come on. Specifically, I play the role of the ignorant newcomer, asking him all manner of questions, and sometimes I'll ask him something particularly difficult on purpose and look at him expectantly, at which he will try his best to hide his embarrassment. Then I accidentally give him hints. Yeah, she accidentally gave some hints, alright. She was dropping hints. Oh my gosh. For a long time. As long as I don't tell him, he won't be able to tell. He even thinks that the newcomer's party was the first time we met, but it was a long time before that. He's so very unobservant. I'm sure he doesn't remember, or perhaps he doesn't care, who he blocked the bullet for that day. That right there is just, that's super sweet. Wait, hang on. I want to find the part where he talks about that, where he blocked a bullet for someone. To be honest, if I really were a genius, to be honest, I'm just an ordinary fellow who's lived an ordinary life for 30 years. There's nothing special about me. I would have been more enthusiastic just a few years ago, but I was shot while rescuing hostages, and as a result, I often wake up in pain at night, so I ended up like this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's so cool. Gunshot wounds tend to be very troublesome like that. Fortunately, all the hostages were saved. That was one of the few highlights of my life. That's such a cool detail. Alright, yeah, and we already know the rest of the story. That's such a cool detail. Okay. Let's do, let me turn this music back on. We can do Lynette's Hangout. And if it's relatively quick enough, we'll hop in and do the cat event. Why were those all Noel? Wait, someone clip that. Wait, I feel like a Just Monica moment just happened. Wait, I wasn't tripping, right? That was only Noel. Okay. Let's see. Where do we go? Where's the other one? It's probably through this quest line here. So, storyline summary, no. Okay. I didn't choose, it'll tell me which option I didn't choose. Just Noel. Thank you, Chua.
Someone needs assistance. I'll catch up.
I like the period at the end of it too, it just really sells it. Attempts to draw a card, makes a horrendous grinding sound. We've been through all this.
I didn't like that. Was I using it wrong? Maybe if I just... Clearly, there's some design flaws to iron out. I'll have to let Fremine know. Let's see... Which card did I get? 4.
Not the ones you wanted.
Well, the cards fell on the ground though, so I don't think it counts as fate. If you want to get the right answer, you have to let fate decide. Also something Linny said. So, to put it another way, if picking a card up off the ground is how to not leave it to fate, then that means it must be the wrong answer.
Oh, how we love stretching logic to suit our own agendas.
Or...
why don't you pick a card? Since I ran into you here, that means our fates are, like, interfering with each other.
You should leave the razzle-dazzling to Linny.
Thank you. This one is final, I promise. Here, take the fatometer. If it's 5 or above, that means fate successfully changed. Anything lower than 5 is a fail. Also, if you have your own thoughts about what I should do, feel free to share it. Now that I've got a good problem solver here to help, I don't need to run every little thing by fate.
Okay, so we did that one. I think we did the fatometer before. We did neither. And then we also just... Okay, so this is probably... These two here are probably the last two endings. I think. I think you should help Bonnie.
So, we're looking for Bonnie's owner?
So, how do you plan to find Bonnie's owner?
I think I'll go to the Steambird and see about putting an ad in the paper. You wanna come along? I think Bonnie wants you to come with.
Sure, if it means I get to hang out with you for a bit longer. I didn't mean that to sound that way. I didn't mean it to sound that way. Hang on, wait. If I'm... Emphasis on the hangout, not on the you. If it means I get to hang out with you longer. Drinks reception we already did by random chance, if you remember. I do remember that, but I was just thinking by virtue of there being 2 endings left over and 2 options I hadn't selected. But I did see that one, so that was kind of up in the air for me. What would Noel say? No, listen, no. That's not what I meant. It was a cold read, Both endings are helping Bonnie. Okay, so then how do we get the last one? Is it through the fatometer? Oh, no, we are on this one, and now it's going to branch off into 2. I understand. Were these people always here? Okay. Great. Awesome. Thanks, Wanderer. Thank you.
Every stupendous day starts with a Steambird. Oh, hi Lynette. Hi Traveler. What can I help you with?
Any commissions in there about a missing cat? Oh, this is probably... We wanted to talk about the latest Tales of Humanity column. Any commissions in there about a missing cat?
I don't think so. Have you picked up a stray?
How dare you? It is a valued friend, not a stray.
Yep. If there's no commission to follow up on, could we post a notice about the missing cat instead?
Why, of course. What a kind thing to do. Just fill out the form.
Well, we've registered you as missing. You can stay at my place until your owner finds you. Also, I just wanted to say thanks for keeping us company for so long. Well, I should probably head back to the drinks reception. Hopefully most of the people have left by now.
Wait, why so soon?
If you've got some time, you should stop by my place tomorrow to see Bonnie.
Ah, I see.
There's a nice cup of tea in it for you.
Wait, so is this like a branched timeline where she goes to the drinks reception and none of the bad stuff happens? Or is that going to happen regardless? Yeah, looking forward to it.
Alright, see you then.
Okay, next morning. Do 7:30. Is it? Wait. Oh, cool.
I believe this cat belongs to me.
Uh-oh.
I already told you, this isn't your cat.
Just take a breather, you two.
What's going on?
Oh, you're here. As you can probably see, you'll have to take a rain check on that tea I promised you. At least for now.
This is my friend's cat. He's preoccupied with some important business, so I came to retrieve her in his stead.
Insight check. This lady's expression seems a bit unnatural. The way she speaks is loud and authoritative. It's like she's deliberately using her tone of voice to dispel any doubts about her integrity.
No. It's far more likely this cat escaped from the Humane Society.
Okay, that's definitely suspicious. My theory, either she spent too long away from the drinks reception and therefore never got the note, or she didn't feel a need to bring it up with you when you're already helping out with Bonnie. That's true. And also she's got this going on now as well. So, she's got a lot on her plate. How about we let Bonnie decide?
Bonnie?
That's the name I've given her in the meantime.
Animal handling? Let's see who Bonnie decides to approach. I don't think the Fatometer would help in this case, but sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 16, let's go. Happily runs to me and begins to weave through my
Well,
legs.
this complicates things.
It seems she quite likes me. This is no way to tell who her owner is.
I told you before. This is my friend's cat. It's normal for her not to trust me.
Listen, I'm the director of the Humane Society, okay? We've got so many strays, dogs, cats, you name it. I'm not even the one feeding them most of the time. You can hardly expect the cat to recognize me.
Then how are you so sure she belongs to you?
She just looked somewhat familiar, so I came to check, just in case. If she turns out to be one of ours, I'll take her back. Simple as that. Even if that's not the case, the Humane Society could still take her in, if no one else comes to claim her, that is.
What's the Humane Society?
We're an organization that specializes in rescuing and sheltering stray animals. We've been in business for several decades now. I'm Bernard, the current director.
The Humane Society. Huh. The name sounds familiar. I remember hearing good things. You're the one in the Quartier Lyonnais?
Yes, that's the one. Anyway, if it's not too much trouble, could I possibly take a closer look at the cat?
You can stay back.
If it turns out I really am mistaken, I suppose that means the cat belongs to this lady here. She would be the only remaining option after all.
The only current remaining option. There's another option that the actual owner either doesn't want the cat or hasn't seen the ad.
It belongs to my friend.
With us here to keep watch, it should be fine.
Go on, Bonnie.
Oh, nope. Looks like I was mistaken. They do look similar, but there's an ever so slight difference in this one's fur color. Deepest apologies, friends.
Can't tell if he's, like, legitimate about that, or if he's like, alright, I'm not gonna get away with this. Let me just make up an excuse and get out of here. Cut my losses.
Well, I suppose this means I still have a missing cat to search for. Apologies again for the confusion.
So, is this your friend's cat?
Oh, yes, exactly.
No. Nope.
Wait a second. You lied earlier, didn't you?
Lied? I'm afraid I don't know what you mean.
Lying is when you say something that isn't true. Can we grab a dictionary for her? We can, find the entry listed under the L's and probably see a picture of her face right there next to it.
A liar always has a tell. The look in their eyes, their breathing pattern, the way they hold themselves. The things that can give you away are often more numerous than you would think.
What are you talking about? The way I see it, you're conflating baseless conjecture with fact.
Normally, when someone is called out, their breathing speeds up as they begin to panic. but your breathing pattern hasn't changed one bit. In fact, it's been strangely calm and measured this entire time. It stands to reason, then, that your agitated behavior earlier was all an act.
Huh?
If you're a bad guy, I'm sure you'll take off running the first chance you get. If you're a good guy, the most likely explanation is that you're a member of the Guards, or some similar organization.
And you're basing this off of?
Intuition. Nothing more.
Intuition. Well, I have to hand it to you, Lynette. You're right. I'm a member of the Guards. The name's Elodie. I'm currently investigating a cross-border smuggling case. This cat here, Bonnie was her name? Well, her owner is one of the prime suspects of our investigation.
Okay. I feel like I've seen the name Elodie before, but I couldn't remember if I actually had. But if I had, I wonder if it was, like, if this is an actual, or if Elodie is the name of an actual guard that you can find. What's the hotkey to change Genshin teams? I don't know. I don't know because I changed all my hotkeys. I have it on my tab wheel, not gonna lie. But it's in the start menu. Wasn't like F1. I don't remember. I'm so sorry. I don't use the hotkeys for that one. I use it in my tab wheel. And when I'm on an account that doesn't have it on the tab wheel, if you do the escape menu, there's a button there that says party. It's L. Oh, Tony, I thought you were saying L, like, like that's an L moment. That's funny. You don't remember it? L. SMH, that's 3 keys, Tony. It's not 1. Escape menus for nerds? Yeah, but tab wheel is supreme. Like, why not have it just on the tab wheel anyways? If you I don't know. And it's but yeah, I think I've seen the name Elodie somewhere. So I'm wondering if that's an actual guard that I came across one time.
A couple of days ago, our suspect got wind that we were on his tail and fled. That's most likely how he got separated from the cat.
Elodie is a Quest exclusive NPC. Okay, so I didn't then. It's a nice name though. Maybe I saw something similar. Or I've seen that name in something outside of Genshin. I don't know. Also, this NPC's voice reminds me of a streamer who's live right now, and we might try to raid after if they're still alive. We tried raiding them one time right as they ended, so it was just because I have such great timing with things. Like the time we raided someone right as a bunch of bots were spamming their chat, so they put it in emo only, so none of our raid messages got through. Or when I raided this person right after they ended, or right as they ended, or whatever. Yeah, we have great timing here.
I just so happened to stumble upon your notice in the Steambird. So, I decided to see if he'd come back for her. But it looks like I overestimated him.
Okay, what to use your, like, 2 wishes on? Noelle. Use them on Noelle. Unless you want to keep Noelle's banner there. Then, use them on... Who's, objectively better right now, given the current, like, team comp possibilities? Kazuha or Nivelette? I want to say Nivelette because you can scale his attack by a lot. You get Canadian Guy's sword. That's also true. Wait, Rachel Messer on Twitch. Oh, interesting. Let me put that in a no and see if they're live afterwards. And if you could also confirm that in the meantime, that'd be cool. Let me put this over there so I don't lose that. Okay. You hate him, you refuse. Why do you hate? Why? He's a very, very handsome dragon judge man. Why do you hate him? You only have C1 Noelle? That's fine. Like any constellation Noelle is, you know, better than nothing. You could get Canadian Guy's sword. You could. If you have Canadian guy, go for his sword then. Okay. Don't judge a book by its cover. Exactly. Although, except in the cases where the cover is very telling of what the book is. You know, that is kind of a weird sentiment. Like, it makes sense in the way that... Not that it makes sense. It's a valid argument to say, you know, don't prejudge something before getting to know it. But at the same time, isn't that what the cover is for? To kind of give you an insight as to what the book is like? I don't know. If I were on the run, I don't think I'd come back either.
The impact of this case has been huge. The Marechaussee Phantom, the guards, and the Special Patrol have all launched investigations. If there was even the slightest chance that he would show himself, I had to follow up on the lead.
So, what's being smuggled?
A new kind of illegal drug. Imitation synth.
Oh boy. Get the sword. Because you hate him. Aw, no, why? He looks good. At least the way I've held him as like a physical and pyro. He's... I mean, I personally like D-Luke. She claims to be the VA at least. Okay. And it probably doesn't say on the wiki or anything yet. Or does it? And I mean, I guess that's not definitive either, because they can just use her tweet or whatever as the source.
We confiscated all the synth on the market, but addiction isn't something that goes away overnight. Even without substances on the market, people are still looking for a way to get their next fix. And criminals are all too eager to capitalize on that addiction. That was the impetus for imitation synth. Needless to say, a small-scale market opened up very quickly. After the original synth debacle, we put several measures into place to prevent similar incidents from occurring. The perpetrators got smart, though, and shifted their sales overseas before those measures could kick in. That's when the imitation synth smuggling began.
Wiki mentions it as well, but references her tweet. In all honesty, there's no reason to doubt it, so it's say she's VA. Yeah, there usually isn't a reason to doubt it. Like, the likelihood that some random person claims to be... And I mean, I did see her. She does have some other work that she's credited for. So someone like that wouldn't really necessarily have a reason to lie about, you know, an NPC in a game. Like a Quest exclusive NPC. But yeah, we'll see if she's even live at the end of our stream. If she is, we can go ahead and raid her. That'd be kind of cool.
We only recently got word of the presence of imitation synth overseas. We managed to track down evidence of some early transactions. What we were able to find out, however, hasn't proven that useful given the amount of time that has passed. The Marechaussee Phantom launched an investigation to track down every person in Fontaine capable of producing a drug like that. That's how we learned about Bonnie's owner.
Who is he, exactly?
He's a researcher at the Fontaine Research Institute. His name is Pierre. Pierre Lafayette, to be exact.
Lafayette.
Lafayette.
Lynette's expression seems a bit unnatural. A slight look of dread just crossed Lynette's face. Strange. She usually schools her expressions with mechanical precision.
The Marechaussee Phantom found him in Poisson. In addition to the cat, he also had a pendant with him. At first, there wasn't much cause for suspicion. A search of his house didn't reveal much to go off of either. The Marechaussee Phantom very nearly left it at that. It was only later that we realized the coat of arms on his pendant belonged to none other than the Lafayette family, one of the most infamous aristocratic families in Fontaine.
Aristocrats. Oh no. Does this tie back to Lynette's past? The aristocrats who sold her before she got rescued by Arlecchino?
Obviously, this discovery prompted a further investigation into Pierre. At that point, however, we discovered that he'd already fled. Now the guards and the Special Patrol are all searching for him.
Could his family be hiding him?
That's not possible, actually. The Lafayette family. has been gone for a long time.
I bet it is. Based on her expression and her reaction here, and what she just said, because didn't Arlecchino kind of clean the floor, so to speak, of the aristocratic family that took Lynette?
Exactly.
Bought Lynette?
Many years ago, several important members of the family, including the patriarch,
Yep.
were murdered by an assassin of unknown origin. From that point on, family's power and influence took quite the hit.
Yep. Yep.
The family is engaged in all manner of crimes. As you can imagine, there's no shortage of people waiting in the wings to take their revenge. And with the family severely weakened, they were able to do just that. Most of the remaining family members succumbed to sickness or hunger. The ones that survived are currently living out their days under a new identity. Pierre is one of those very survivors. He's been hiding away in the Fontaine Research Institute all these years. His true identity unbeknownst to all. Until now, that is.
Is it really okay to share all this information with us?
Well, my fellow guards have told me all about how smart and courageous you both are. And I know you possess a strong sense of justice.
Mm-hmm.
There could be a chance that Pierre, or one of his accomplices, might attempt to get close to Bonnie. Now that you've been briefed on the situation, I was hoping you'd help us keep a lookout.
Alright, well, I'm immediately suspicious of the guy who claimed to be the director of the Humane Society. Again, kind of a difficult thing to lie about. But, you know... Also, he could actually be the director of the Humane Society, and also still be an affiliate of, Pierre.
If I take Bonnie back to the guards with me, there's no way Pierre will try and come for her. Not even the most daring of criminals would attempt something like that.
So we should keep Bonnie with us for the time being?
I have to admit, I'm not holding out too much hope that Pierre will come back for her. But if there's even the slightest chance, then it's worth a shot. Well, I've got some other leads to follow up on. If Pierre does appear, please contact me right away.
What's wrong? You don't look so good.
It's nothing. I'm fine. It's just... the head of the Lefebvre family.
Yup.
He was the eminent person who kidnapped me all those years ago. It was at a dinner party. Someone tricked me into boarding the Lefebvre family carriage. Whoever it was, they took me back to their home.
It wasn't just a kidnapping. From what I understand, there was a financial transaction involved, but I mean, it's still a kidnapping regardless. It's just more than that.
But before anything worse could happen, Father intervened.
So that's what happened. Then the assassin Elodie mentioned.
Yep. Father was the one who orchestrated the fall of the Lefebvre family. That's what led Lenny and I to join the House of the Hearth. After all these years. I never thought I'd hear the Lefebvre name again.
Are you okay?
Don't worry about me. I wasn't feeling sorry for myself. I was just thinking about Lenny. He's been acting strange recently. He avoids me for days on end, consumes himself with some secret investigation, and then out of the blue pushes me to do that acting job.
Oh, so it is still tied together.
Thinking about it now, it's almost like the one I drew from that deck of cards was part of his plan all along. He must have asked Ferminet to help him out. In any case, I know he's hiding something from me. He's really pulled out all the stops this time.
You think he knows about Pierre?
It's very possible. I'm sure he tried to send me away because he was afraid it would bring up some painful memories for me. It wasn't necessary, though. Even after all these years, he's still as overprotective as ever. You'll have to help me teach him a lesson if we run into him along the way.
Along the way? Are we going somewhere?
Yep. I want to head to the Fontaine Research Institute to learn more information about Pierre. Just let me activate search mode and then we'll head out. Who knows? Maybe we'll run into Linny along the way.
Are you trying to help out Lenny with his investigation? Or are you just trying to prove yourself?
A little bit of both, perhaps. For the most part, though, I just have the sense that something's not right. Something isn't adding up about Pierre's story. I'm just not sure what.
Thank you for giving a hug to Lynette, Tony. She needs it. I also want to know what secret he's hiding. Sometimes you just gotta take the bull by the horns, right?
Okay, I'll write a letter explaining everything to the crew. Once that's done, we can head out.
So there are bulls in Tevat. Or I mean, Traveler's not from Tevat. He may have been to a world where there were bulls and got that expression from there. But she didn't question it. Oh shoot, I'm capped on resin. I thought it took care of that. Hmm? Oh, Chevres and Linny. And they're having a discussion.
Lynette, you're, not at rehearsal?
You can drop the act, brother. In fact, I don't think either of us will have a need for acting anytime soon. You should know better than to try and keep something from me. You've never been able to do that, even when we were kids.
And that's why I tried to distract you with the masked mime show. But I guess you're just too good.
Care to introduce us to your new assistant?
This is Officer Chevres, captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. You may have met her already.
We meet again.
Nice to see you. I should clarify something. Mr. Lenny's here at my invitation, not the other way around. To borrow your expression, Miss Lynette, I suppose that would make him my assistant more than anything. We've brought on Mr. Lenny as a consultant in the past. He was instrumental in helping us crack a case involving a perpetrator who used magic tricks to commit crimes. I was hoping he'd be able to provide some valuable insight this time around as well.
I wonder if that's Linny's story quest that she's talking about, that she's referring to. I mean, maybe not. Are you here because of the Lefebvre case? Or Lefebvre?
So you've heard everything then?
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly why we're here. There's always been questions surrounding the fall of the Lefebvre family. Some people even believe the House of the Hearth was involved.
What? No, what? That's crazy. It's crazy, right? Guys, tell her that's crazy.
Whoever was behind it all was extremely cautious. They didn't leave a shred of evidence. This very fact, however, leads me to believe it was indeed the work of that Harbinger.
Or that Harbinger was getting framed?
I took a look at the entrance and exit records of all the carriages that night. Let's just say it wasn't hard to deduce that there's ill will between you two.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I don't have any evidence to that effect, and I certainly don't plan on going to bat for such a despicable family. Plus, you were victims back then more than anything.
I love her. Her sense of justice is... It's not unique in the sense that it's unheard of, but it's definitely very refreshing at her perspective of justice is very refreshing.
I sought Mr. Lenny's help with the smuggling case. Nothing more.
You're really teaming up with the House of the Hearth?
The way I look at it, it's a collaboration between us as people, not the organizations we represent. Besides, by working together, we can expose the truth as quickly as possible. You can hardly say that's at odds with the justice my organization strives for.
I'm assuming you wouldn't be opposed to some extra help?
Not at all. I was planning to invite you from the very beginning, Miss Lynette. It's just that my assistant here raised some objections.
Linny, I'm not the same person I was back then. That little girl who did nothing but cower in the corner in fear, She doesn't need saving anymore.
Oh. Speaking of shivers, you did get bugles recently. They were saltier than you remember, and most didn't fit on your fingers. So either her fingers are a lot smaller, or the bugle things are just a lot bigger. I wonder if they might not be like the bugles we're thinking of, but like some other French treat. I wonder if someone knows. Like maybe someone in like a French player's, playing the game, they get chevreuse, they see her idol, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's this thing that I just had the other day. That's funny though. I kind of want to get bugles. They must, yeah, I guess they were kind of salty thinking about it. Huh, I don't remember. Like, I vaguely remember them being like blandish in taste, like breaded, or whatever they're made of. Like there wasn't like a flavor to them other than salt, which isn't really strictly a flavor, I don't think. I'm gonna get a bag of bugles now. I know you want to protect your little sister, but little sisters don't stay little forever.
I'm sorry, Lynette. You're right. I let my concerns get the better of me.
Oh, and the next time you want to distract me, you should try a different approach.
Who's this? You pick up a stray while I was gone?
It's a bit complicated. I'll explain later. Anyway, her name's Bonnie.
Her name is Bonnie, and she's actually the reason how we knew about all this to begin with. It's kind of a twist of fate. In fact, you could say it was fate that brought us this case.
Well, if there are no objections, then I suppose the only thing left to say is... Lynette, Traveler, welcome to the team.
Chevreuse and Linny share with you what they've learned over the past few days.
It appears the Lefebvre family was very particular in their use of insignias and emblems.
You'd say salt is a flavor, just one that's usually used to enhance other flavors? I guess that makes sense. Actually, yeah, thinking about it, I guess it is classified as a flavor if you think about, like, the different taste bud receptors. Because there's salty, sweet, savory. Salty, sweet, savory. I don't think it was another S. Because umami is the savory one, I think. Salty, sweet, savory. Bitter. Salty, sweet, savory, bitter. And I think there's one more. I always forget if there's one more or not.
The family would use different emblems to mark differences in status, blood relation, and the like. In fact, the insignia that was discovered on the pendant was used to represent an illegitimate child.
Sour. Thank you, Jua. Yeah, so it's 4 S's and a B. Or 3 S's, a B, and a U. Salty, sweet, savory, sour, bitter. So that would mean Pierre is a bastard child?
It's highly likely. That very status might have been what allowed him to emerge from the fall of his family relatively unscathed. It would also explain why he was able to assume a new identity as a researcher with relative ease.
We discovered something interesting, though. After talking to some of his co-workers, it appears he pretty much works at the Institute in name only. He's practically been cast out.
Wait, what happened?
Apparently, Pierre was once addicted to synth. He tried to use the resources at the Institute to create a substance with a similar effect. He claimed it was just for research purposes, but the Institute revoked his access to the relevant materials regardless. He was placed on disciplinary leave, pending a thorough investigation of his actions. But it seems the Institute ran into some trouble along the way. Could have been a lack of personnel or a timing issue. In any case, they had to table their formal investigation into Pierre. Unfortunately, that also included reporting any relevant information to the higher authorities. As for his family background, it appears none of his co-workers at the Institute were aware of that information. All they could tell us was that he was quite the recluse.
Maybe we'll have to take our investigation elsewhere then. Did you find anything useful at his residence? Did you find anything useful at his residence?
Other than the pendant, we didn't find anything else of note at his residence in Poisson. Based on the samples of imitation synth we've been able to analyze, it appears the substance leaves behind strong traces wherever it's produced or stored. Those traces might not be obvious to the casual observer, but they're not something our guard poodles would miss. Pierre's home, though, came up completely clean. We didn't find any records indicating possible involvement in overseas transactions either. So, the Marechaussee Phantom didn't view him as a major suspect at first.
Maybe he had a separate, dedicated area where he made the imitation synth.
Well, his neighbors did say he was often gone for long stretches of time. You would think with him out and about so much, people would have spotted him around Poisson, but residents said they barely ever saw him in town. If his reclusive nature was just a matter of keeping a low profile, I guess it would make sense for him to have a secret base to carry out his business.
After he disappeared, the guards conducted a thorough search of Poisson, but they didn't come across any suspicious locations.
Poisson.
What is it, Lynette?
You know Hotel de Boer, where I first found Bonnie? To get there from Poisson, you have to cross a stretch of ocean. It's not somewhere a cat could just wander off on its own.
So you're saying it's local?
A cat? You mean...
Bonnie's like, yep, me, I'm here.
Bonnie is Pierre's cat.
We think. We're still not entirely sure.
Oh, that's right! When the Marechaussee Phantom first tracked him down, I remember there being something about a cat in their report. So this is her?
From what we've learned about Pierre's habits, he doesn't seem like the type to venture out without a purpose. So what you're saying, Lynette, is that Bonnie couldn't have gone missing in Poisson. If that's true, then...
She must have wandered off only after Pierre brought her to his secret base.
Exactly. Bonnie might even know where it is.
Wait, you think the cat can lead us there? But she's not trained like one of our guard poodles. How is she supposed to understand what we want her to do?
She's not. Intuition. Okay. Oh my gosh. I can give it a go. Meow, 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 no. Lynette could give it a try.
Meow. Meow, meow. Meow?
Seems to understand what you want her to do. She flicks her tail and meows loudly in the direction
Near the
of the
coast,
cliffs and the coast.
beach, and beneath the cliffs. The place we're looking for is most likely north of the court of Fontaine.
Well, I've certainly never taken a witness statement like this before.
Well, if it works out, maybe it's something worth getting used to.
Cats and humans are actually pretty alike. When it comes to communication, most of what we want to convey can be accomplished through body language alone. But humans tend to rely too much on speech to ever take advantage of that fact. Of course, body language has its limitations. You're not going to be able to get across anything too complicated.
The important thing is that we now have a lead. Let's try and find a place that matches the clues Bonnie gave us.
We gotta go back here. At what point does this story branch? Okay, so we're still not there yet. So it's probably something that we do in this one, maybe?
Seems like Bonnie is trying to take us somewhere.
This is nice.
Gardenex ahead.
Oh
Look
boy.
out!
Quietly now.
I must leave no stone unturned.
Behold!
Ow. Nope.
There's
are about to get dicey.
Where'd other guy go?
Gotcha. Leave it up to me. Time to clean up.
Quiet now.
One with nature. Squall and fury.
Why is his base just kind of out in the open? Hey, Bonnie.
Wow, Lynette, you found this place so easily. If I thought there was any chance you'd say yes, I'd recruit you into the Special Patrol here and now. No questions asked.
Based off of this one thing. I don't know your Special Patrol criterias. Anyways.
Sounds familiar. I pretty much receive letters daily from people trying to poach her from me.
Let's just focus on our search. There's a lot to investigate.
Aha! Just as we thought. This is where the imitation synth was being made.
These bottles and jars, they're all imitation synth?
Looks like he's got more than just imitation synths stashed around here. In addition to the raw materials needed to synthesize the substance itself, there's a large quantity of cleaning agents and a few drugs I haven't been able to identify. These cleaning agents are likely used to dispel traces of the substance, like its smell. The Special Patrol did some digging into imitation synth. Our records indicate that it's very difficult for ordinary people to detect traces left behind by the stuff. I'm sure that it must have taken a considerable amount of time and skill to ensure all those traces get washed away. But what are these other drugs for?
Maybe the after effects? Hang on, I'm just gonna...
What are these other drugs for?
Okay.
The material these bags are made of, it's quite rare.
Doesn't it look similar to the material you used for your magic pockets?
It's the very same, actually. Romaritime flower fiber. But there's something special about the composition of these bags. I took a closer look, and it appears they're not only waterproof, but also corrosion and leak resistant.
So, it's either used for carrying larger capacities of synth, or just the actual liquid synth itself?
Even the strings look specially designed to keep the bags closed nice and tight. I came across some bags made of the same material just now, but they were much smaller and thinner. From the look of them, they seemed far less durable as well.
So, kind of like one of those small sealed bags.
Very similar, actually. Normally, it would be easy for a guard poodle to sniff out the imitation synth, but if it was sealed away in a bag like that, it might be possible to elude detection for some time.
Interesting.
But what could these big bags be for then? If the goal is to keep the imitation synth hidden and sealed away, these bags seem a bit too conspicuous.
Hi, Bonnie. Look at Bonnie. Good Bonnie.
When the Marechaussee Phantom searched Pierre's house, there was no sign of these barrels, right?
He must have moved them. But carrying them all the way out here would attract way too much attention.
You're right. That doesn't seem like his way of doing things. How did he get them here then?
Let's find out. The barrels shown signs of water damage. Dried up water stains can be seen around the circumference of the barrels. There seems to be a pattern to the location of the water stains. For some reason, they appear to be limited to the lower half of the barrels. So just set them in the water and push them across. Have them like sort of bob up and down.
Only the lower halves of the barrels appear to have been submerged in water.
Based on the various ingredients we've found, this appears to be where Pierre was cooking up his imitation synth. It looks like he used a special cleaning agent to get rid of any residual traces of the substance on his person before he left. That's how he was able to get past the guard poodles.
So then he transferred the imitation synth into small
shoot.
sealed bags and took it somewhere else for the drop-off.
Had my mic muted, whoops.
No. I don't believe our suspect is the kind of person who'd go around carrying incriminating evidence with him. That would potentially create too many eyewitnesses.
I'm an eyewitness.
The cleaning agent and the sealed bags might get past the guard poodles. But if a member of the public or even a guard on patrol happened to see him during the drop-off, a quick search would reveal everything. That's still a very risky operation.
What about if the drop-off happened at sea? There'd be no one around to see him.
The barrels we found were wet around the base, but the top half was dry. As if they'd been standing upright in the water. If you put a barrel in the water, it will normally float on its side. Unless it's heavily loaded, in which case it'll sink.
So he must have used something to tightly seal big bags full of air, turning them into airtight flotation devices.
Yes. With flotation rings around the body of the barrels, they'd stay upright in the water. And then he could afford to load them more fully.
So that's what the bags are for. Huh.
You think he used floating barrels? I suppose if he acted at night, when there are very few other boats around and visibility is low, it's a valid theory. We can't rule it out.
But then, wouldn't the barrels be carried off by the waves or the currents? How would the person doing the pickup know where to look?
Barrels that could float away and get lost at sea. Sounds difficult to keep in one place. Kind of like certain pets. Bonnie's like, don't patronize me.
Traveler, can you come take a dip in the sea with me? I have a feeling that somewhere down there, we might find some rope. If a rope can be used to keep a pet from running away, then why not a barrel?
Good point. Are you still on about this? No, okay.
I can't believe how much progress we're making with this investigation. Without your help, getting this far would have taken me an awful lot of time and manpower.
It's rare to see Lynette in serious mode. I wonder how long she'll keep it activated for.
Too slow.
The wreckage of a small boat? This isn't the place. This isn't the place.
Okay. Ha.
Got it. Time to go up and report.
Yes, Genshin, thank you for letting me know that I'm wet. I've only just been in the water for like 30 seconds.
As expected, we found a few pieces of rope and some anchoring stones underwater. If you attach them to a floating barrel, it would look like this. With this anchoring system, it would be possible to use floating barrels for the drop-off. You would just need to drop them in the water at the agreed-upon location. We also came across the wreckage of a small boat. It must have been left out on the water and capsized due to the force of the wind and waves. Its small size, however, would have made it perfect for staying undetected.
Let's talk this through. Based on the evidence we've collected, it seems like Pierre would row a small boat out to the agreed-upon transfer point, drop off the barrels, leave, and then row back and retrieve them after the transfer was complete.
Why use such a convoluted drop-off method, though? Wouldn't it be easier for both parties to meet up at the transfer point on their respective vessels and exchange the goods right then and there?
It could be that he was trying to avoid meeting up with his associate face to face.
Oh.
As one of the sole survivors of the Lefebvre family, maybe he was just used to that sort of elusive lifestyle.
That's fair.
It seems like Pierre deliberately chose the floating barrel method so that the goods could be dropped off and picked up at separate times. That way, the two parties wouldn't have to meet each other.
Well, if that's the case, they must not have a very close working relationship.
Yeah, I'll say.
Let's not jump to any conclusions just yet. Assumptions can be detrimental to solving a case. It's possible they were just trying to keep a low profile. Two boats sailing to the same location at once could be too conspicuous. The most important thing is that we can now confirm Pierre wasn't acting alone. The floating barrel drop-off system is proof enough of that. Let's say for now that he was only in charge of producing the imitation synth. That would mean there has to be at least one other person involved in the operation, likely in charge of transporting the goods across the border.
That explains why we couldn't find evidence linking him to any overseas operations.
Since we've determined that the goods were transported by boat, maybe we can track down some travel logs or something.
We can certainly check the various ports for that information. It's possible, however, that Pierre's associate also used a small boat for the transport, and docked along the shore rather than at a large port. If that's the case, it's unlikely there would be any record left behind.
Have you looked into the ports already?
Absolutely. Before Pierre disappeared, we made sure to investigate all sorts of outward-bound vessels. We also had port authorities keep a lookout for anything suspicious. Unfortunately, we were never able to find out how they managed to get the imitation synth across the border.
A small boat and a few barrels isn't going to get you very far.
You're right. Whatever vessel was used for the pickup, the person responsible for smuggling the substance out of Fontaine would have had to use a larger vessel for the actual transport. That's the only way they would be able to smuggle on a large enough scale to make a profit. They must have found a way to disguise the imitation synth to clear port inspections.
Well, even if we can't find any travel logs, we can still search for other clues.
Exactly. We can't let any opportunities slip through the cracks. Although, given the amount of ports that could be involved, we should probably split up.
I'll run home and ask some of my brothers and sisters to try and dig up some information.
I should also head back and update my platoon on our progress. I'll grab some reinforcements while I'm at it. Lynette, Traveler, why don't you head to Lumiduce Harbor and see what you can find out?
All right. Come on, Bonnie. You too.
Bonnie is a valued member of this case. Alright.
I'll catch up. I'll catch up.
Watch, we immediately run into Pierre right here. Oh, is that Elodie?
Oh,
Yep.
Lynette, Traveler. And Bonnie, too. What brings you all here?
Did something happen?
We're here to check the travel logs.
Oh. I see. Thank you for everything you're doing for the people of Fontaine.
What are you doing here?
I'm in charge of guarding the port. You mentioned you were after some travel logs, right? I can go fetch those for you.
Looks like I've got another hard day of work ahead of me.
Are things usually pretty hectic around here?
No, not usually. It's this incident that happened recently. Before that, everything was normal. All we had to do was confiscate anything suspicious and we could call it a day. Pretty simple stuff. But things are much more complicated now. We somehow let suspicious cargo pass through the port undetected. Not even our guard poodles were able to sniff it out. Even worse, we still don't know how the perpetrator was able to conceal the goods so well.
By suspicious cargo, do you mean imitation synth?
Yep. However, prohibited substances are just one example. We confiscate all sorts of contraband during the course of our inspections. Or at least, we're supposed to.
So what happens to the goods you confiscate?
Oh, we keep them in a storage locker. If they turn out to be something particularly dubious, we'll turn them over to the Maison Orderly.
I don't think we've heard that name before.
If the goods are only slightly suspicious but could otherwise be harmless, like raw materials that could potentially be used to create contraband, we return them to the ship they were confiscated from, instead of letting them pass through the port.
Sorry for the wait. These are the travel logs for all the recent activity at the port.
Hey, Gerard.
Oh, you brought Gerard with you.
Actually, he followed me here himself. It's like he smells something on me.
Oh.
Huh. I wonder why Gerard is reacting to you two so strongly.
Could be because we just left the place where the imitation synth was made.
Huh? We were so careful not to touch it, but we still ended up with traces on us. If it leaves a residue so easily, I just don't understand how the culprit was able to disguise the goods at all.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Why don't you have a look at the travel logs first? All ships coming in and out of the port are recorded here, except for the ones the port authorities ride to and from work.
That sounds like a suspicious detail. You flip through the numerous travel logs, you notice several instances where the Humane Society is listed. The name really seems to stand out. I knew it.
The Humane Society.
We've encountered that organization before, right?
Their name is all over the exit logs. The purpose for leaving is always listed as overseas adoption.
Yeah, sure it is.
Ah, the director of the organization explained that actually. He said a lot of the cat and dog breeds unique to Fontaine are also very popular overseas. So his organization offers an overseas adoption program.
But why on the exit logs and not on the return logs? Does he return via another port, or is this just something very suspicious?
Bernard, the director of the Humane Society, was the man who came looking for Bonnie earlier.
The cat that fled from Pierre looks just like the cat that the Humane Society is looking for. Could that really be a coincidence? It seemed as if Bernard was also hiding something. He seemed so insistent, but only ran a cursory check before just leaving like that. When he came looking for Bonnie earlier, what if he wasn't actually there to check if Bonnie was his missing cat? Maybe he was there for some other purpose.
Have you figured it out too, Traveler? The way the criminal disguised the goods? When Bernard asked to take a closer look at Bonnie, he was actually checking whether there was any imitation synth in her stomach.
No. That's so messed up. He was using the animals at his shelter to smuggle imitation synth.
Wait, what?
The sealed bags we found at the secret base. They were specially made to be corrosion resistant.
So that they wouldn't be digested. Oh, that's so messed up.
And there were gaps around the lids of the barrels, and airbags were used to keep them upright in the water.
So that the animals would be able to breathe.
Those drug Chevres found at the secret base. She most likely didn't recognize them because they're not used on human beings. It's an anesthetic used on pets. The perpetrator must have given it to the animals.
So that they would keep still in the floating barrels.
Pierre must have made the animals swallow the sealed bags full of imitation synth at his secret base. Then he stuffed them into floating barrels and left the rest to Bernard.
That's so messed up.
The sealed bags combined with an animal's body odor would certainly be enough to mask the scent of imitation synth.
During our inspections, we would have never thought to inspect the bellies of those animals for anything suspicious. Even if we tried to feel around for something, I'm sure it would be difficult to detect.
Exactly. I bet Bernard even transported animals with synth in their stomach alongside ones without. That way, it would be even harder to say with certainty that something was amiss.
Do you think Bonnie could have imitation synth in her stomach?
She's probably in the clear. Otherwise, Bernard would have never left without her. I'm guessing he didn't know whether Pierre had already hidden the next batch of imitation synth before he fled. Just imagine. He sees the notice we put in the Steambird, and it turns out that one of the very cats he gave to Pierre for the smuggling operation is out in the open, roaming the streets of Fontaine.
Character quest? Yes, character quest. Welcome in, Sonic. How's it going? Can I get a shout out for Sonic, please? How you doing?
If Pierre had already hidden the next batch of imitation synth, then Bonnie would practically be living proof of their crimes. He would have had no choice but to go after her.
So, that's why he came to find you and insisted on taking a closer look at the cat.
Pierre must have fled in a hurry. That fact is probably what spared Bonnie. Man, that's messed up. That's like...
Wait a second, I'm a little lost here. I get the part about hiding the substance in the pets, but those... what did you call them again? Floating barrels? Why even put the animals in there in the first place? If you've got something as convenient as a floating barrel, why not just stuff it with the imitation synth directly? Why not wait to hide the stuff until after the exchange has been made?
Honestly, yeah, I had that question as well.
In order to make sure the animals could swallow the sealed bags, they made them extremely thin. Had they not done that, the animals would have likely bitten or chewed through them.
And if any of the imitation synth leaked out, they also would have needed a lot of cleaning agents to get rid of the resulting smell.
That step would have required a lot of energy, as well as a certain amount of technical expertise. So, it was better left to the more experienced Pierre. We've already proven how easy it is to pick up trace amounts of imitation synth, so I'm sure Bernard was taking all the precautions he could to avoid the same fate.
Yo, welcome in, Lee. Thank you for the hydrate. Yeah, we're just learning about some crimes against animals here. Just having a fun chill time, you know.
Okay, then let's head to the Humane Society right away and bring that guy to justice. I'll bring a Gardamek to speed up the process.
Oh boy.
Sorry, but I can't go with you. Surely you'll be able to handle him, between Elodie's Gardamek and all three of you?
True, true. But yeah, welcome in, Lee. How's it going? You just noticed it's a TV. It's actually a computer monitor, but yeah, it's like an old retro CRT style screen. Just woke up as usual. Nice. Good morning.
The headquarters of the Humane Society should be somewhere around here. Bernard could show up any moment now.
I don't like how close we are to Macaroni Central. That's a little worrying.
Ah, you're the people from earlier. Wait, you're from the guards?
Heck yeah, we are. Or, well, she is.
After him!
Oh,
we
boy.
can't let him get away!
Please tell me that's one of ours. Tag, you're it.
Give it up, Bernard.
Mercy, have mercy. I'll talk. I'll tell you everything I know.
The Humane Society has done so much good over the years, and yet you have committed such an atrocious deed in its name.
A very inhumane one, if you know.
Look, I didn't have a choice, okay? My father cared about those blasted animals so much, he didn't bother to take care of his human wife and son at all. While those animals were showered with love, I lived worse than a dog.
No one asked. Tell me, how did you first get to know Pierre?
Yikes. It's like that sound clip, and it's like the "we do not care."
Well, after I took over the Humane Society, it gradually became harder and harder to maintain its operations. Until one day, someone suddenly passed me a letter. It said that I could stand to get a large sum of money as long as I helped them to transport some animals abroad. It was only after a few such transports that I finally understood what I was really transporting. But then, Pierre wrote to me, saying that we were already partners in crime and that I better keep cooperating with him if I didn't want to be reported to the guards. I would order wooden barrels and flotation devices according to his instructions, and then load the sleeping animals onto a boat. Once I sailed to the location he provided, I would dump everything together into the sea. And a few days after that, I'd come by again in my boat and pick up the animals sleeping in the barrels. Once I had received enough of them, I'd bring them to the harbor to be adopted abroad. That guy, Pierre, he was running the entire show. He set up all the meeting times and found all the foreign adopters. Oh, and he even supplied all of the goods too. I just did the transport. He was the one who planned out and executed everything else.
So, where is he now?
Look, I don't know, okay? I've never ever met him in person. We've only ever communicated through letters.
And when did he send his final letter to you?
Just last night, he said that the Marechaussee Phantom is now after him, so he's planning to go into hiding for some time. He didn't mention where he's thinking about going, though, but he did tell me to look out for the guards.
It's been a few days since Pierre's last appearance. I'd wager that he sent that letter after he found his hiding spot.
So, where is that letter now?
I burned them. It was on his orders. I had to burn every letter after reading them. I wasn't even allowed to share them with the rest of the society employees.
Sure sounds like you're trying to use the lack of witnesses or evidence to pin the blame on Pierre.
No, I swear, this time I'm only telling you the truth.
Uh-huh, that's what a liar says.
Well, we can check the truth of your statements at the Opera House. I hope you know what'll be coming for you if I were to find any discrepancy between the evidence and the testimony you just gave.
I know, I swear I was just telling the truth.
My thanks to you both. Had it not been for you, I really don't know what would have happened to this case.
Bonnie helped, too.
Yes, she did.
That's true. It was all thanks to her that Bernard was finally exposed.
Suddenly runs and hides behind you and Lynette.
And it looks like she's grown quite fond of you two as well. Then I'll leave you be. Just let me know if you find any other new leads.
It said hide. Lynette's expression seems a bit unnatural. It seems that Lynette still has something on her mind. Something's not adding up here. Is this where the branch is? This is where the branch is. So, talking to one of them will give us one ending. Talking to the other gives us the other. This is the branching path? Okay. Something about Elodie seems suspicious, though. Why did Bonnie hide? Maybe it's an unfounded suspicion. Because I don't see how she would fit in. Other than that thing where, who was the dog? The dog's name? Girard? When the dog approached her barking. We'll do this
now
first.
Behave and follow me to the interrogation room.
That hurt. Ow!
They're about to leave. Is it really okay to let them go? You need a perfect 20 on this? Okay, what's the lucky number today? I guess the lucky number is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 16. Okay. Let's try again. We can leave Bernard in this interrogation to the guards. Let's first rescue the animals of the Humane Society.
Is everything really over?
No, Pierre's still out there.
I still feel like the relationship between Pierre and Bernard is not as simple as it appears. Also, I've had this strange sense that something's off the entire time we've been on the case. And it has only gotten worse.
Oh. It's the first time we've lost a thing. No!
No good.
No!
I've still got nothing, and I'm nearly out of energy.
Don't force yourself. Just leave it to Linny and the others.
Alright, I'll stop thinking about it for now. At the very least, we've made it so that no more animals will suffer like those poor animals did. And that's what I hope. Let's go to the Humane Society and see if there are any animals left that might still need our help. Before my energy for today completely runs out.
Oh. The truth remains submerged in the dark undercurrents, yet hope always lies beyond the cage. Thank you for giving Lynette another hug, Tony. Alright, let's try... So, okay, so the only way to get that last one is RNG. It's a bit unfortunate, but we can do it. Hopefully that gives her some more energy. I hope so too. If we just talk directly to her, it's going to be the same thing, I think, right? So we'll just go back to Elodie.
Now behave. And
That hurt.
Okay, we'll try. Let's try 3, 4, 8. Let's try it again. If it's the same number, then it's not RNG, and we'll just have to keep doing it until we get 20. But it's probably RNG. You should talk to Lynette. Oh, okay. Well, I'm already here. I'll talk to Lynette after. It is 18. Okay, so they are randomized.
Is everything I
Let's
still feel also?
Skip.
I've had this.
Thank you. I know you were going to tell me that. I heard like what yeah, okay. I just like heard Jua's voice in the background like there's a skip button. Okay. Contender. Lynette. Something on your mind still?
It was that obvious, huh? Well, even though it didn't feel like Bernard was lying, after talking to him, I'm getting an even stronger sense that something's not quite right. We investigated so quickly that perhaps we've missed a thing or two along the way. Let me activate deduction mode and consider things again from the top to see if we can find anything new. Is there still anything unresolved or strange that we should try to consider?
I mean, we got Bernard's letters figured out. What we found in Poisson, that's fine, I think. I don't think there were any... I think we basically covered everything there. We figured out that the drugs that Chevreuse didn't recognize were for the animals. So, there's an unexplained part in the operations of this trafficking ring.
Well, we've discovered that Bernard is responsible for the trafficking, while Pierre deals with supplying the goods. Is there something else in this scheme that we're missing?
Oh, okay. Ledger. Bernard can be compensated for his work after completing a shipment. No suspicious record would be left as long as he receives the funds as an individual, rather than through the Humane Society. Connections? Any past member of the Lefebvre family would probably have a number of connections outside of Fontaine. They always communicated in writing, and all of those letters have been burned, so we can no longer confirm or trace anything. Okay. Thank you for just poofing it away. We've already proven that Bernard and Pierre coordinated their handoffs by passing floating barrels to each other on open stretches of water. Okay. According to Chevreus's investigations, Pierre has been formally reprimanded for his synth-related research and can no longer get any materials from the Fontaine Research Institute. So then where is he getting his materials from?
Yeah, according to Bernard, Pierre also supplied all of the goods. But if the Marechaussee Phantom's records are correct, Pierre should have lost all access to the materials required to create the imitation synth.
I bet it was Elodie.
And the Institute has also not reported any theft of their stocks.
I bet it was Elodie. Okay, what we found in Poisson,
The
I guess.
Marechaussee Phantom found Bonnie and the Lefebvre pendant at Pierre's residence. That was the beginning point of our investigation.
Bonnie. Bonnie has been with Pierre ever since the first meeting between Pierre and the Marechaussee Phantom, and that's why Elodie came looking for her. But that shouldn't be all. According to Bernard, the trafficked animals were taken directly to Pierre's base, rather than to Poisson. The pattern on the pendant is proof that its owner is an illegitimate child of the Lefebvre family, but this shouldn't be all. Oh, the Lefebvre family is infamous in Fontaine, and even their innocent scions became targets of revenge. But Pierre just carried the pendant with him as if it was an ordinary piece of jewelry. Okay, what do we associate it to? I wonder. Initial suspicions? Pierre became the key suspect in the case because of a suspicious cat and a suspicious pendant.
Why would he leave such an obvious trail for us to follow when he took so much care to not leave any traces of imitation synth in his home?
Unless he's being framed? Probably not. Maybe not. I don't know.
Bernard claims to have received a letter last night from Pierre. In the letter, Pierre stated that he had gone into hiding. Is there something wrong with the letter?
Delivery method. Regardless of whether he sent it anonymously or secretly delivered it himself, it's no longer something we can follow up on. Bonnie had already been on the loose for a few days when we found her yesterday morning. That means that she had already broken free when the letter was written. Oh? Okay, we'll come back to that. The letter didn't mention Pierre's hiding spot, although it makes sense that Pierre wouldn't want anyone to find him. If the point of the letter was to tell Bernard to get on his guard, then why didn't it also warn him about Bonnie?
If Bonnie had imitation synth in her body, then she was a liability that had to be recovered at all costs. But if she wasn't carrying anything, then it would have made sense to tell Bernard not to worry. And thinking about it, Bernard only attracted our attention in the first place because he came to look for Bonnie. Could it be that the person who wrote the letter also knew nothing about Bonnie's whereabouts? Or they had a separate goal entirely? The final question is, why did I sense that something wasn't right after hearing Bernard's testimony? Even more so than before.
Pierre's conflicting behavior and Bernard's statement. Both written letters and handoffs using flotation barrels are methods of communication that can be intercepted. Ooh. Oh, right, we already knew that though. Pierre made such a complicated operations plan, yet also exposed himself to so easily to the investigating guards. Okay. Does Pierre have multiple personalities? Probably not. It almost feels like the plan and the expose were done by two separate individuals, and Pierre was set up. That's what I was thinking. Bernard has never met Pierre in person. We knew that. There's still a third person out there, and it's Elodie, right? Even Bernard himself never knew that it wasn't Pierre that had been pulling his strings all along. It was someone else.
Deductive mode deactivated. I think we may be close to the actual answer.
Attempt to close the case.
Perhaps we are now closing in on the truth.
Now behave, and follow me to the interrogation room.
Ow! That hurt. Ow!
Okay, so now we're back to this. So, all of that stuff with Lynette was just additional stuff that did not lead to a branching conclusion. So we really do have to... Oh, but we get our 5, 10, 15, 20. Doesn't matter what we pick now. Initial suspicions, the letter's purpose, the ingredients, and a third person's existence. So it doesn't matter what we pick. We can literally get the lowest card. Of course we get the 20. Of course we get the 20 right there. I hate gacha games. Oh my gosh. Someone clip that too. That's ridiculous. No, we can't let her get away. Hold it right there.
Is there something else you need from me, traveler?
Bernard and Pierre, they weren't really acting alone, were they?
Huh?
I see. It all makes sense now.
Hey, what are you talking about? Look, even our confessed criminal here has no idea what you're saying.
Because he has been kept in the dark all along. And I assume it's the same with Pierre.
Bernard thought he was communicating with Pierre, and Pierre thought he was taking orders from Bernard. But for all this time, neither of them knew that there was a third person all along.
That
Gotcha.
never quite added up for me. Why did Pierre feel compelled to return to his home with Bonnie and the pendant, and make them so easy to find for the Marechaussee Phantom?
Any animals Pierre received from the floating barrels should have been taken directly to his base, and considering his precarious situation, the pendant should have been the last thing Pierre would leave lying around.
Both of these things are in stark contrast to his usual meticulous and vigilant behavior. There's only one reasonable explanation. He was following orders, just like Bernard. He probably received the following instructions right before the Phantom came knocking on his door. Bring the cat and the pendant, and our undercover agent will be sure to help you. Unbeknownst to him, however, the third person who wrote that letter to him had long decided to sacrifice him and Bernard to save themselves.
They instructed the two men to communicate through letters and barrels specifically so that they'd never get to meet each other. Honestly, this third person probably planned to sell both of them out from the very beginning.
What? You can't be serious. There was a third person involved?
If you focus only on Bernard's testimony, it's easy to believe that only Bernard and Pierre were working together. The case appeared extremely simple. Bernard did the trafficking, Pierre the imitation synth production, drugging, and stuffing.
With everything accounted for, the third person would then be cleared of all suspicion.
Wait. That doesn't make any sense. If that's the actual truth, then as soon as Pierre is caught, he'll explain his side of the story and the third person will...
Yep, which is why the third person made sure that Pierre would never be found again. Once they had instructed Pierre to expose himself, the third person wrote to Pierre again, suggesting that everything had been taken care of, and he should take Bonnie and safely return to his base.
Then they ambushed Pierre and made him disappear.
Of course, Pierre's disappearance at such a sensitive time immediately made him a prime suspect. Knowing that Bonnie had last been seen with him, all the third person would have to do from that point on would be to lead the Phantom to investigate the Humane Society and get Bernard to confess the truth.
Bernard would then testify that Pierre was the only one, or that Pierre was the one who came up with the whole plot, and Pierre would be seen as having gone into hiding in anticipation of getting caught.
Wait, so you're saying that the letter I received yesterday, the one that made me think Pierre was still alive, it was also sent by the third person?
Well, yeah, it wouldn't have been sent by Pierre if he were no longer alive.
Is that what happened? I'll get back to headquarters right away and reinvestigate this case from the top.
Not so fast.
Chevra said that assumptions can be detrimental to solving a case. Someone among us, however, has been feeding us all kinds of preconceived notions ever since our first meeting. They suggested that Pierre's disappearance was an attempt to escape the judgment of the law, and that Pierre was a scion of the Lefebvre family. But if the disappearance is truly just a cover-up for a murder, then couldn't the true scion have been an illegitimate daughter, rather than an illegitimate son?
Miss Elodie Lefebvre.
Huh?
Guards member. Among Us.
Haven't you taken this joke a bit too far? You're right. I did let a lot of assumptions get to my head when I first started to talk to you about the case. I'll make sure to correct my behavior.
You deliberately fed us lies, but even you could not control every last detail of your plan. There was a flaw in your scheme, and something didn't quite go as planned. Getting the Marechaussee Phantom to notice Pierre was only the first part of your plan. Had they failed to take notice of the Humane Society, they could have cast a wider net. And you couldn't predict what they might possibly find, if given enough time. This, of course, was the main weakness of your plan.
And once the Special Patrol and Linny got involved, it became even harder to control the outcome of the investigation.
As someone accustomed to acting from behind the scenes, you didn't want to take the risk of personally proposing a raid on the Humane Society. So, you thought about pulling a few more strings, so all the suspicion would point towards Bernard and his society.
A great option, of course, would be also dispose of Bonnie and leave her body at Pierre's base in anticipation of a later discovery.
Once the Phantom expanded their search, it would only be a matter of time before they found Pierre's base. If a cat last seen with the suspect turned up dead at the imitation synth base, it wouldn't be long until the Phantom would figure out exactly how she had been mistreated and turn their eyes towards the one organization that has been sending boatloads of animals out of Fontaine.
However, something unexpected happened at the base. Bonnie managed to escape in the chaos.
It was probably during your ambush of Pierre. You didn't even have the time to check if she had already been stuffed full of imitation synth. Still, you soon found another opportunity. Before long, Bonnie had made her way back into the city, and even popped up on the Steambird. Like Bernard, you desperately wanted to confirm the contents of her stomach, so you hurried to find us. Unlike Bernard, however, you were hoping that Pierre did have the time to make her swallow a load of imitation synth. While investigating the suspect's cat, we unexpectedly discovered that the suspect has been smuggling imitation synth using living animals as intermediaries. That was your plan, in any case. With that, you'd have been able to lead the investigation towards the Humane Society.
But Bonnie was very lucky, and you were extremely unlucky.
Bonnie had managed to escape before Pierre was able to stuff her full of imitation synth. That part of your plan could no longer be carried out. But as shrewd as you were, you came up with another plan right away. You manipulated the Traveler and I to help you identify Bernard as a key suspect.
you knew Linny was investigating the case of the Chevres, and you also knew of Lynette's previous encounter with the Lefebvre family.
You use the Lefebvre name as bait to get us to join your investigation. With 2 extra bodies around, the Special Patrol is sure to soon take note of the strange event of Bernard somehow having a reason to look for Pierre's cat.
Sorry, but hearing all this is making me sick. Yeah, no, I totally agree, Tony.
So, what you're saying is, I went to all that trouble just for the chance that you might put forth the suggestion that would lead you down the wrong path.
Of course, you did far more than that. Just now at Lumidus Harbor, were you not the person who highlighted the suspicious activities of the Society?
By showing us the port's travel logs.
Ugh.
You even highlighted the Society's activities during your compilation of the logs, so they'd be immediately visible to anyone examining the records. Moreover, the logs contained no records of the Port Authority's activities. In other words, your activities.
And what are you trying to suggest with that?
I am insinuating that you had plenty of opportunities to transfer the raw materials for imitation synth from the harbor to a boat, and then sail over to the meeting place full of floating barrels.
Once Bernard had placed the animals in the barrels, you'd open the lids and also dump in the raw materials. As long as you did it before Pierre came for his pickup, there'd be no one the wiser.
And that's how neither the trafficker nor the manufacturer knew there was a third person who supplied the raw materials, and surreptitiously operated between them.
First, you got in touch with both parties and secured the raw materials. Then, you instructed Bernard to prepare the floating barrels and the animals. After that, you slipped the raw materials into the barrels next to the animals, and requested that Pierre pick up the barrels and bring them back to his base.
Pierre manufactured imitation synth using the raw materials you provided, stuffed the animals, and placed the animals back into the barrels. Having received the green light from you as Pierre, Bernard then retrieved his animals and shipped them out of Fontaine once he had received enough for a full batch. This is the truth behind your smuggling ring.
I can't believe it. I never put 2 and 2 together.
Hush, Bernard, the grown-ups are talking.
You've sure got an extremely lively imagination.
So what do you think she's going to say next?
Ever thought about a career in writing crime novels?
Ever thought about a career in writing crime novels, huh?
It appears that it's quite easy to predict what you'll think or say. Then if we apply that to this case, we can also think of a few places to look for incriminating evidence. You know very well that this case will not end until Pierre is found, so you will have him commit suicide out of fear and shame to end the investigation for good. That way, you can also pin the blame for the overseas smuggling activities, the theft of the harbor's confiscated raw materials, and even the Lefebvre name on him. After all, dead men tell no tales. But you still want it to appear as if he had sent that last letter to Bernard, so you have to make sure he cannot be found until after Bernard has confessed to the authorities. To do that, you either will hide his body until you've found an appropriate time to set up a fake suicide scene, or you'll dump it someplace where it'll be hard to determine the exact time of death. Submerged in water, for instance. The location would ideally allow you to keep the body hidden for some time while also letting you keep an eye on it.
An example of such a place may be somewhere in your own boat, or underneath the waters near Lumidus Harbor. You could also keep him in a very cool environment to be handled later, or set a fire to make it look like he had burned himself to a crisp.
There are only so many options to hide a person's time of death, after all. As long as the Phantom investigates each of the possibilities in turn, they'll surely find Pierre's remains. Especially since, as the prime suspect who will now be taken into custody, you will no longer have the time to move him, or set up a fake suicide scene to cover up the murder.
How absurd. And on what grounds will you order my arrest? Don't think for a second that your spouts of nonsense will amount to any kind of real argument. After all, I'm
Elodie Lefebvre!
As the captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol, I hereby declare you as a suspect in the case. If you have any objections, you may raise them later during interrogation.
Jervis, Linny.
That's right. We received a message from Lumiduce Harbor that you were going to investigate the Humane Society. We didn't expect to run into you at such a critical moment.
While at the harbor, we noticed something else extremely interesting. Apparently, you often used all kinds of excuses to swap your shifts. And if one were to match the times of your shifts to the activities of the Humane Society and those of certain foreign ships, they'd find them to be an exact match.
Wow.
That's just a coincidence.
Yes, I'm sure you have already thought of a dozen different ways to explain away the suspicious activities, but as far as evidence goes, that should be enough to warrant taking you into custody.
Don't worry. If it turns out that the guards are still unable to find any evidence after all this, Lynette and I will do everything in our power to clear your name.
Although judging by her reaction, I assume no follow-up from us will be needed.
The Lefebvres were infamous for using disguise and infiltration to achieve their goals. Who would have thought that they would have planted someone within the guards?
Judging from the timeline, they likely arranged for you to enter the guards before the fall of the clan. But they probably didn't expect you to turn it to your advantage and use your job to save yourself during the purge.
Not only that, but you actively participated in the interrogation, arrest, and judgment of the Lefebvres during their fall, thus clearing yourself of suspicion. You brutally and cruelly abandoned your allies as soon as they outlived their usefulness, just like a lizard cutting off its own tail in order to live. You've been doing this for years.
So you played me like a fool after all? Ugh!
Oh, yikes.
What was that word you used? Ally? You think that someone as foolish as him is worthy to call himself my ally? They were worthless scum, all of them. Not just Bernard and Pierre, but those Lefebvres too. They always just saw me as a tool. I lost all my chances of a normal life just because I was born into their lot. Not only that, but because they wanted me to become an undercover agent, they stripped me of my name, too. I had to live in constant fear of them while they were alive. And even once they were gone, I had to continue to bury my heritage and my name. Always worrying that their enemies would come knocking at the door. Do you know anything about what I've been through over all these years? My life as the last Lefebvre?
Elodie's expression seems a bit unnatural. There's a hint of drama in the voice of the suddenly agitated Elodie. It feels like her anger may be a part of some kind of bluff.
I don't, and neither do I care.
There it is again, that we do not care. I should get that as a soundboard sound. No one asked about your past. You can save that speech for the trial.
Are you for real? Aren't you a Lefebvre victim too?
Elodie, you're the only one still living under the shadow of a name.
That's enough. Keep your hands where I can see them and do not resist arrest. If you have more to say, save it for the interrogation room.
What a joke. What a joke! Hey!
Oh.
Don't come any closer!
What's that?
Know what this is? I've secretly planted loads of explosives in the Humane Society. Just one step closer and whether they're cats, dogs, or just unlucky human employees, they'll all be blown up into smithereens. Surely you bunch of goody two-shoes won't let that happen, right?
Oh boy. Sonic, I don't think that's the right emoji to use right now. This is definitely not a party. Assist Lenny in deceiving Elodie. Launch a sneak attack on Elodie while she's distracted. Try to convince Elodie to surrender. And help Chevreuse to intimidate Elodie. Well, there's only one ending left, so I'm assuming these all lead to the same thing. I just don't know if you can lose these checks. What D&D check you're gonna use? Ah, man, is my other mod here? Lucid, are you lurking? You're the D&D person. I don't know what to do. Hang on, let me DM them real quick. Quick. Deception, persuasion, stealth, or intimidation check. Let's see what they say. There should be another option. What's the other option? What's the fifth option? Also, what is the... Oh. Okay, they're replying. Usually aim for deception or persuasion first. Okay. I think persuasion might be a good one to try first. Because stealth or intimidation, we can spook her. Persuasion, there's a possibility of letting her guard lower. But if it doesn't work, then she's just gonna keep yelling at us, I think. So let's try persuasion. That's the safest option, I think. Deception would be second safest. Because it's like persuasion, but the moment that she realizes we're lying, or if she realizes we're lying, then she could just immediately press the button. Something along the lines of unaliving her here and now. I mean, I think that's kind of the stealth attack right there. Sneak attack doesn't give the guarantee that they can take care of her. Exactly. There's also a possibility of that failing. Intimidation, same thing kind of with deception. The moment that it doesn't work, she can get spooked and hit the button. So I think persuasion's the safest option here. 15. Are they different check levels? And we also don't get any... Oh, okay. Well... Let's go. I don't know. I actually don't know if you can lose these checks or not. It wasn't your choice to be born into a family of villains, but that cannot justify your choice to also walk the path of evil.
What do you understand about any of this? I've suffered years of sleepless nights because of this name. I was sure that the moment I closed my eyes, someone seeking vengeance would descend upon me, calling for my blood.
Each option gave a different bonus, and you chose the hardest option. I did? Oh. I guess I'm just that good. 19? Oh my gosh. Alright, well...
I finally found an opportunity to earn enough money to start a second life and dump this name and all of its baggage onto Pierre. And you just had to go and ruin all of it!
If you chose to flee and go into exile now, you'll only end up living under more fear and terror on your own.
What am I supposed to do? Do I even have any choice?
Oh. Begins to waver. She is knocked out by a hard blow from behind. Don't tell me it was the cat. Don't tell me the cat did it.
Phew. So I was right after all. It's easier to deal with the person causing the problem than the problem itself.
Okay, I think it was Lynette. But the way it just cut to Bonnie. And what about the device she had?
This is it. Looks like it's just a toy.
So she really was just bluffing.
Guess that's probably why she suddenly flipped and knocked out Bernard. He probably knew that there were no explosives at the society.
She also pretended like she had a villainous breakdown, as if she had no choice but to kill to escape her life.
Well, given that she never even showed her face to Bernard and Pierre, I had my doubts that she'd have gone to the society in person to plant explosives.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you for your help, everyone. I'll take them back for thorough questioning and find someone better to take over the Humane Society. I might need a few statements from everybody. Would you be able to come with me?
Exactly, the cat girl did it.
If statements are all you need, can Linny provide them on my behalf? I still need to go back and explain some things to the crew. I also had an appointment with the Traveler before we got interrupted.
Contemplation, what did she say again? What do you mean? We know what she... Wait, why are we... Oh, because she's trying to make an excuse, I think? I don't understand the contemplation part. I guess we try it. Although this was a lot of dialogue for me just to try another option later on. You know what? We'll do it. 10? Okay. So we've got a 50-50 shot here, roughly. Except these are only 12 cards instead of 20, so... We've had a good run with the 8th card. Look at that. If you fail the contemplation check, you lose a heart. She's only on 1 heart, though, I thought. Oh, okay, it went back up to 5. But we barely got that. We've got a... That was a really lucky streak with choosing the 8th card. I remember that when we parted ways at the Steambird yesterday, she mentioned something about having tea together at her place. But we were interrupted by Elodie and the others.
Ah, so you do remember. Yes, I invited you to come over to our place.
1 heart was the other ending? Oh, okay. Wait. But that was the other option here, instead of contemplation. There was just a direct option to choose that instead of... Are they different? Wait. Is succeeding the contemplation check different from just choosing the first option that was above it?
Once I'm done talking with the troupe, I'll make a nice cup of tea and bring Bonnie to wait for you outside of my door.
I still like to believe that Bonnie... Oh. Okay, he's breathing. She's breathing. Okay, we're good. Never tried it? Just a random chance for people who like randomness? I guess so. Yeah, like, I guess contemplation is like a 50-50, you know, roughly. And then you can just choose either option to just directly skip the whole 50-50 aspect of it.
You can leave the rest of this to me. The other guards will be joining me shortly. Don't worry, they won't have another chance to escape.
There are still a few things I'm curious about. How did Elodie get her hands on the raw materials?
The materials have many other regular uses outside of being used to make imitation synth, so they're not immediately subject to being confiscated or destroyed. The harbor would usually just seize them for some time while the customs paperwork is filled out and approved. If approved, they'd be let through, and if not, they'd be returned to sender. Elodie probably used her position to replace a portion of the shipment with something else, before sending the whole shipment back to sender.
But then I'd feel like the sender would, you know, raise some suspicions or whatever. Be like, hey, this isn't mine.
Given that the foreign merchants who sent in the shipments were probably working with her in the first place, they likely just never reported the difference in what they sent and what they received.
I see.
We will, of course, continue to investigate the rest of the details of this case. Now that we've caught Elodie, figuring out the whole scheme should just be a matter of time.
You must have spent a record-breaking amount of time in serious mode today. I can't remember the last time I've seen you like this. Is it because of a special someone?
Oh. Ayo. There are still a few things I'm curious about. How did Pierre get recruited into the scheme?
Based on information that we found before, imitation synth was first circulated on a small scale in Fontaine before becoming a large-scale smuggling scheme. I'd assume that the first offerings of imitation synth came from what Pierre made in his early days. But since he was not experienced with running a clandestine operation, he was soon discovered by guard Elodie. Elodie saw the opportunity to make a great profit in his work, and perhaps even the chance of making a new life for herself, so she decided to cover his tracks. She started writing to him in Bernard's name, using what evidence she had compiled and the promise of enormous profits to blackmail him into cooperating with her. Unfortunately for her, she ran into Lynette. Even though my sister doesn't like to focus too much on a regular day, serious mode Lynette is one of the most perceptive people I've ever known. Still, all of that thinking really saps her energy. I need to go give some statements on her behalf, so I'll leave the recharging to you.
The wind rises.
Oh.
Black tea and a cute kitty. Truly the best combo for standby mode. Want some?
A cute kitty, please. A cup of tea, please.
I hope you'll like it.
About Elodie's case, are you not interested in any follow-up developments from it?
Not at all. Information is indeed very important, but if you were to try to collect every piece of information you come across, your efficiency would actually decrease.
That makes sense.
Plus, if you just think about it, what sounds more fun? Writing a statement or enjoying a tea party?
The cute kitty. The tea party.
Great answer. That'd be my pick too. Had we not run into that case, we could have spent the entire day like this. But now, I'm running low on both time and energy.
The key isn't how long you spend in standby mode. With quality time, you should be able to recharge more quickly.
You're right. I can sense it. I'm recharging very quickly at the moment.
I still have a question, though. When did you start to suspect Elodie?
Something about her rubbed me the wrong way since the very beginning. But to be more precise, it was probably around the time when I saw Bonnie try to get away from her.
After you arrested Bernard?
Elodie tried to get close, but Bonnie deliberately dodged her. Maybe Bonnie had tried to evade her before at Pierre's base. Or perhaps Bonnie just instinctively knew that she wasn't a good person. Not everyone who likes cats is a good person. But if cats like you, you're probably alright.
Fair enough.
Humans tend to overthink things, but cats rely on their instincts, and they're pretty sharp. I mean, just look at Bonnie. She took a liking to you the moment you met.
There we go. Your story has come to an end for now. That was cool. And now speaking of cats, we can go see even more cats. It's been a while since I've been here. I actually have not done, like, even TCG stuff in a while. Go to the entrance. I have to actually leave to start this.
Oh, looks like Margaret is talking with those two people over there.
Rosaria and I think that's a new adventurer.
Wait, is that Rosaria? Huh. She's standing next to an adventurer Paimon doesn't recognize.
Think she's also here to play some cards?
Say no more, Valerina. I'll continue to help you out, just as Victoria requested. Look after the cats, check up on their health, give them a bath. These are all things well within my capabilities.
That doesn't solve our biggest problem, though, Miss Rosaria. The cats have been so anxious. If we can't get them to trust us, they're sure to get sick from all the anxiety. We just opened, and the Furball Fortress is already about to go under.
Furball Fortress.
Well, panicking certainly isn't going to solve the problem. The fact is, neither of us has a way with cats. That's not something I can change.
Hi, Rosaria! And hello to you too, Miss Adventurer. Sounds like you're all really worried about something.
Our cat saviors! They've appeared already!
Saviors? Seems a bit sudden considering we just met.
I smell a commission coming.
I'll try to keep it short. My name's Valerina, and I really like small animals. Recently, I've been trying to set up a shelter for stray cats. I call it the Furball Fortress. I thought it would be a good way to rescue those poor animals that have nowhere to go. Plus, getting them off the streets will improve the overall environment and look of the city. It's a win-win.
If only there was somebody who we knew that could get cats like Bonnie to trust them immediately. This does work out really well.
The sisters over at the church heard about my plans and sent over the kindly Miss Rosaria to help.
I wouldn't exactly describe myself as kindly. I just accepted the assignment from Victoria. After all, I was the only one with any knowledge of medicine, or the spare time to help.
Yeah, the timing of this as well was pretty interesting.
Well, it seems like you've got quite the plan, Valerina. Thanks for bringing us up to speed. So, what had you so worried just now? Are you short on Mora? Are you missing something you need?
No, I've got more than enough Mora. The funds, the location, the supplies, all the various procedures. They've all been settled. The main problem is, the cats. They, keep swatting at me. They're always hissing and swatting. They won't let me approach them, not even with treats.
The cats are afraid of me as well. They run away the minute I'm in the vicinity.
No, the cats are afraid of you? Gee, I wonder why.
Oh, Paimon has heard something like this before. There's something about certain people that just makes cats afraid. Huh. A kind-hearted cat rescuer who doesn't get along with cats. Seems like just visiting the cat's tail would be enough to leave you flustered, let alone running your own cat shelter.
That's why we consulted an expert. But Miss Margaret wasn't able to offer a solution to our problem. She's short on workers, so she couldn't spare anyone to help us either. She did give us one piece of advice, though, to enlist the help of the Honorary Knight and their trusty helper in white.
That's a new one.
We had just wrapped up our conversation, and the next thing we knew, you two appeared before us like saviors sent by Lord Barbados himself.
Well, Paimon's not sure how much Lord Barbados would know about taking care of cats. But that aside, we've never even worked at a shelter before, but somehow we've been turned into the saviors of the entire operation.
It's perfect timing though, no? We were just talking about playing with cats. We actually were just talking about playing with cats.
Well, that's true. Even if Paimon has no experience working at a shelter, she's confident she can get on their good side just fine. Like, that's all we need to do here, right? We just need to show Valerina and Rosaria how to get friendly with the cats, and everything else should fall into line.
Feel free to focus your efforts on Valerina. Just call me if any of the cats need medical attention.
Understood.
If you all can keep the shelter running with minimal effort on my part,
Then you can slack off more?
this errand might turn out to be a good use of my time after all. It's better than church activities in any case.
Ah, so that's why you agreed to help. You just wanted to shirk your church duties.
Well, I guess I should show you around first. Follow me, you two. Let's make our way to the Furball Fortress.
Is it not in the cat's tail? It is not.
Someone needs assistance.
Hey, Huffman. Cats. Impeccable timing? Yes.
Oh, it's just a regular house. Gotta say, Paimon was expecting something a little bigger with Fortress in the name and everything.
This was the biggest space I could find in the city over the past few weeks. The rent is cheap, so that's a plus. A half a year's worth of rent, along with all the cat's tail-inspired furnishings, only cost me a few million mora. Of course, not all of the cats will be staying indefinitely. We plan to offer some of the healthy ones up for adoption. As long as the new future owners prove capable and the cat seems like a good fit, they're welcome to take their new pet back to a loving home. This location is definitely good enough. We could even expand the business one day and start sheltering stray dogs, foxes, or even squirrels. When that day comes, though, I'll probably have to think of a different name. Maybe the Furball and Friends Fortress would be a better fit.
I mean, I think Furball still technically applies.
I would suggest letting all of this play out first. You still don't know if the customers will even get along with the strays.
No, I thought that wasn't that bad. Kind of forget the amount of more you have is a lot. Yeah. Because the way that people talk about more, like NPCs, it sounds like, 1 million mora. When someone mentions 1 million mora, like Paimon freaks out. But then, someone also mentioned like several million, and they're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I feel like the amount is inconsistent.
Huh? Look over there! That cat is staring at us.
Oh, it's the little white cat. She's super afraid of people. She ran away when we tried to give her a bath. It took us forever to track her down again.
But yes, also, Jua, the amount that you have is a ridiculous amount.
She looks so soft and clean, and her fur is so white and fluffy, just like fresh fallen snow. Wait, that's perfect! We should call her Snowball!
Snowball would be a really cute cat name. Pudding. Tofu would also be a good fit.
Ooh, those are some good names, Traveler, but Paimon thinks she likes Snowball best.
I agree, actually.
Here, kitty kitty! That's it, Snowball! Good
Oh.
kitty! That's a good kitty!
It's been, what, a minute? And you already got the cat to listen to you! Did you see that, Miss Rosaria? She's practically a miracle worker! You really are a cat whisperer.
True, but it's to start a non-profit organization, not just a house. That's true. But, like, she prefaced it by saying it wasn't a lot. It's like that, what was it, that meme where it's like a small loan of $1 million?
That was nothing. They may be strays, but as long as you give them a good name and call them with love, you're sure to gain their trust eventually.
And yeah, it's all, like, contextual and stuff as well, too.
First things first, though. You gotta pay attention to the way you interact with them. How should Paimon put it? Basically, it all comes down to your demeanor.
Also, that was the lowest I've seen Paimon to the ground without her actually laying on it. And as far as I can remember, we've only seen her laying on the ground twice.
For example, you can't just stand there trembling in fear, Valerina. If you're afraid, the cats are sure to become afraid as well. As for you, Rosaria, you might want to keep an eye on your, facial expressions.
I thought Paimon lowered herself to interact with the Snowball? Yes.
These poor creatures, picked up off the streets, given a name, and they now have a loving home. Fate is kind to even the lost souls who have wandered astray.
Oh.
This city really has brought peace and happiness to us all.
Look at that, Rosaria.
Hey, Snowball is snuggling up to Rosaria. Looks like she's not afraid of her anymore.
Oh.
Did Rosaria just smile?
I saw it too. We should pretend like we didn't see anything though.
No matter. There are more important things to focus on. Anyway, it's getting a bit stuffy in here. I'm going to go get some air. Call me if you need me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sure thing, Rosaria. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Huh. Paimon thought Rosaria would be happier about that.
No, she's got a reputation to uphold, Paimon. She's got that whole like tough, tough person persona that she's like, nah, I can't be seen smiling and snuggling with cats. She's like, aw, good kitty. I mean, it's getting a bit stuffy in here. I'm gonna step outside real quick.
Please, teach me more of your ways, honorary knight. And you too, oh great cat whisperer. We're sure to get more and more strays coming to the Furball Fortress, and I doubt all of them will be as friendly as Snowball. There's still so much I don't know about interacting with them.
No problem. Just watch and learn. It's about time we move on to a more advanced lesson. How to get the cats not to just trust you, but to like you. It's all about patience. As long as you put in the effort to get to know them, you'll become best friends in no time.
I completely understand. The Furball Fortress is still in its trial phase, so the more I can learn at this stage, the better.
Rosaria has an appearance to uphold. Exactly. Okay, you must take various requirements into consideration when setting up your fluffy feline home. There are 3 attributes in this event: comfiness, durability, and aesthetics. You are required to select one suitable furnishing of each type in such a way that the overall area fits the 3 attribute requirements exactly, no more and no less. Oh, that sounds a little complicated. Not complicated hard, but complicated like, you have to be very specific with that. It's like doing the potion puzzles, but not having any overlap, and also getting all of the squares. The outcome of the furnishing's primary attribute will be displayed in the upper left corner of the interface. In addition to the main attribute, it will also provide a small amount of other attributes. Hey, welcome back, Lulu. Hope you're feeling better. We just started the cat event, and we'll probably only be able to get through 1 or 2. Well, it started today, so maybe only 1 stage. I'm not sure. We'll find out. But it's so adorable. There's only one unique combination of furnishings that furnishes the attributes needed to complete the challenge, and the furnishings that comprise that combination have appearances that complement each other the best. Okay, so there is one right answer. Okay. It's not something that's like, okay, this is... like, there's no other possibilities. Interesting. After you've completed your fluffy feline home setup, you can place food into the cat food bowl to be acknowledged by them. After you have fed a cat, you can call the corresponding cat at the throne of Meower or invite it to play directly. Nice. Alright, let's try it out. Also, hello, Snowball. Alright, Valerina, anything else? Honorary Knight, Cat Whisperer, Paimon, are you too tired? Would you like something to eat or drink, or perhaps a massage to relax your muscles? No worries, we know you're busy. Not as busy as you, I expect. Why, I should watch the two of you work more, if anything. Yeah, watch us work. Also, this is, I think, just a copy-paste of the cat's tail. It really is just a copy-paste of the cat's tail. Do these doors open? They do. Huh. Okay, let's try this out. Oh. Feeling a bit better? That's good. I'm glad, Lulu. And thank you for the hydrate and the posture check. Okay. So we need to add... we want to focus on durability first. and then comfortness. So let's try. Wait, don't they have a secondary attribute? Okay, that one goes into aesthetics. Oh, I see. It's like just barely. Huh. We can kind of just brute force this, or we can try to see what fits best. I think if I do this, this, and this. Nope. Okay, way too much durability. Too much comfiness. Ooh. Okay, well that's unfortunate because we need to switch something else out here. Less comfiness, more durability. Oops. Shoot. More durability, less durability. It's like math. Gotta not have that shrimp posture, yes. Huh. What if I swap these two? Aha! There we go. Fish. A snow white ball of pure white cotton is constantly pawing. Wait, what did I say? Constantly pawing at your sleeve with tiny claws as though urging you to play. Aww. You can select a cat from the throne of Meower or directly invite a cat to come and play. The cat's friendship levels are as follows: trusted, cherished, and inseparable. Well, if we're inseparable, I don't think that that'd be good for a cat that's going up for adoption. 8 points where you can pet the cat are the right ear, left ear, face, lower body, upper body, tail, right and left paw. Different cats have their own preferences for where they wish to be petted. Okay, so we can... Okay. Press in order to pet the cat. If you pet right where the cat likes it, its friendliness to you will increase, but this value will remain the same or even decrease should you pet a spot that displeases the feline. Did I miss something? I guess not. Repeatedly petting the same part of the cat will cause friendliness to increase by less and less, until it no longer increases at all. As such, you must adjust your approach and pet the cat in different spots. After you have switched up the places you are petting it a certain number of times, the cat's rate of friendliness increase will reset across all body parts it likes to be petted. Once a cat's friendship level has increased to the next stage, areas where it did not enjoy being petted may change, and it may now permit you to pet in new places. Interesting. Love cats? Me too, Lulu. I love cats. Okay. Look! It's following the hand. Okay, ear? No ear. Okay, other ear maybe? Okay, so no ears. No ears. Face. You love face. Okay. So it loves face. Upper body? Okay, it loves upper body. Lower body. Okay, cool. I can hear purring. It's not very loud, but I can hear purring. Face. Upper body. Lower body. Look at him. Oh. Claim rewards. Oh, okay. Pause. Other paw. Cats typically don't like tails. I don't know if the ears have changed yet. No. Okay, ear. Yes, ears have changed. Okay, the one ear changed. So cute it is. I love it. Okay. Face. Other paw. There we go. And we just keep petting it. Now that we're inseparable, can we pet the ear? Okay. Tail. Okay, you'll just let us pet you anywhere now. That's adorable. I love it. A joyful session spent. Hello? Oh, hi, Mona. Meow? Is this really how cats greet one another? I wonder if my pronunciation's on point. Looks like Snowball didn't understand even a whisker. Mona, are you trying to speak cat? Try roaring at it. No. Professor Magistus, that is not how you pronounce it. It's Leviosa. It's not Leviosa, it's Leviosa. I didn't say that one. Fine. Mona could be an assassin with how well she snuck up on you. She really could be. But what's she gonna do? Throw a puddle at me? Rawr sounds more like tigers or lions. That's a good way to frighten a kitty and turn it into a scaredy cat. That's true. But yeah, honestly, Mona, that was very impressive. Please never do that again. No, Paimon, so the rumors were true. You really are working at the Furball Fortress. Working probably isn't the right word. We're helping Ballerina and Rosaria out, so we're more like consultants. I mean, travelers should know how to speak cat after all the Sumeru daily commissions. Honestly, yeah, that's a good point. Although that's the Sumeru variety of cat. Actually, funny thing, apparently animals in different parts of the world have quote-unquote accents. So a cow in England sounds different from a cow in, even like I would say Scotland, but like definitely different from a cow in France or a cow in America. And I think it, you know, is for most, if not all animals, which is kind of an interesting to think about. I don't know if it's like something in the gene pool or if it's just like a learned thing. I think it might be learned because if you see like cats that are raised with dogs or vice versa, like that animal will kind of have, like a cat that's raised with dogs will tend to be a bit more playful, and you know, kind of energetic like a dog, and a dog raised by cats will be a bit more on the calmer side of things and maybe a bit more not fidgety, what's the word? I don't know, timid, I suppose. So maybe it is like a behavioral thing. Didn't know, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, it was an interesting factoid I learned a while ago, and that's also, that could explain why different languages have different ways to pronounce different animal onomatopoeias. Like how in America they say meow. Actually, that's kind of the same for China too, but in Japanese, it would be nyen. So I just thought it was a really cool, but mostly useless factoid. Yeah, that's it. Being called a consultant sounds really impressive. By the way, great astrologer Mona, are you looking to adopt a cat to assist you in your astronomical observations? Based on my understanding of astrology, yeah, it would be astrological, not astronomical, I think. Based on my understanding of astrology, it shouldn't be too hard to teach a cat to read the various aspects of the stars. I might even teach one to help me write manuscripts? Steals a peek at Snowball. Boldly stare straight at Snowball. On second thought, maybe not. One who can only read the stars but is ill-versed at stringing words together would not suffice to convey my illuminating insights. If I really needed an assistant, it would be better to just take a trip to Fontaine and recruit some staff member from the Steambird, or find a Melusine who can use a typewriter and bring them back to Mondstadt. Were I to really adopt a cat, at most it would be to play with it a bit, to relax and relieve the stress from the exhaustion of academic inquiry. One mustn't be a bad owner. When you get tired, it would be best if the cat is tired enough for a cat nap as well. Before I set foot in here, I never imagined hanging out with cats would be such a joy. Ah, how wonderful life would be if we could always be happy like this. Looks like you're going to be a really conscientious owner. Guess this cat's going to be in fine hands. But I've also heard that some cats can be quite rambunctious, always jumping around, biting, and clawing the furniture. Imagine my manuscripts or astrology tomes ruined by feline canines. That'd be troublesome indeed. Making a snack out of precious books? Paimon can barely imagine something so terrifying. Snowball looks quite well behaved, but seems not to comprehend my meaning. Perhaps we lack that special connection. So I would like to observe a bit more. You know, keep an eye out for obedient cats. Oh, and I must calculate the cost of a cat bed, cat food, and other expenses. Not too luxurious, but also not so shabby. Wouldn't do to submit the cat to hardship. It's okay, take your time. There are many more furry felines in this fortress. Yeah, Valerina said that she'll adopt even more strays in the future, so even if no cats catch your eye today, you can always come back often to play and have a look. Aww. Oh, and there's Rosaria. Well, I do find inspiration sometimes when I play with cats. But as I do, I find my motivation to waning. On the other end, you're always raring to go every time I see you. It's almost as if you're simply inexhaustible. Hold on, we're not workaholics either. Yeah, we're always traveling, so we don't do too much exhausting work. But when I dropped by the Steambird before to take care of some things, I noticed an editor compiling mountains of notes. Hundreds were related to a blonde traveler. Destroying the puffer fruit floating here and there, defeating monsters and bandits up and down the land, escorting masterless cargo through dangerous areas. She's talking about our daily commissions. Wait, hang on. And every 7 days, taking care of commissions from ordinary citizens, sometimes completing dangerous bounties. Wait, now she's talking about it. Wait, this is getting very meta. Wait a second. Every 7 days, taking care of commissions from ordinary citizens, like the butter deliveries, sometimes completing dangerous bounties. Oh my gosh, this just got really meta. Your weekly workload is practically 14 to 70 times that of some elite adventurers. Some people even ask for star readings to predict when you'll arrive just so they can hire you. Huh? So are we actually that hardworking? And popular? Next I'm expecting Mona to, like... I would start losing it if she's like, something about the number 60 keeps coming up in your stars. Not sure what it could be. Must be some special type of rank you've earned from all of your adventuring. Oh my gosh. If you could apply that same industriousness to helping me write articles, I mean, I would provide a detailed summary and the underlying theoretical basis, and you would just help me put it to paper. We could probably publish hundreds of paper in a year. No, we'd be able to publish a slew of books with tons of time to spare. My handwriting isn't exactly the prettiest. It really isn't. If you've seen my handwriting, it's atrocious. Great, and what would my cut be? I'm not sure you get paid all that much for your writing anyway. Would there be enough left if we split the proceeds? We'd split it down the middle regardless of the amount, of course. With my brains and your tireless toil, it would be a completely fair arrangement. The more we write, the more we'll sell and greater the readership. The income will naturally grow substantially. Oh, I've prepared a whole bunch of theses, so many that I'd not run out of material even if I proceeded at an ideal pace for several years. I'll wager that plenty of those articles will end up being cited and utilized by the academic community. Oh, those licensing fees will be glorious. Anyway, if you are willing, then we can discuss the details once I've finished preparations. Who knows? Perhaps we'll become an ace astrology arrangement with the highest proportion of thesis contributions. What was the other thing you were gonna say? Are the manuscripts being difficult lately? Difficult is not the phrasing I'd use. Not ideal in quality, perhaps, though the results of my astrological observations are crystal clear, and my mind is equally sure about how it wants to convey them. I just can't quite quill to paper. I just can't put quill to paper. If I were to put out something wishy-washy under these circumstances, the quality would not be worthy of the name Mona Magistus the astrologist. Ah, so it's not just burnout, but the high expectations you have for yourself. Yes, and it was at such a moment that I happened to hear about the trial opening of the Furball Fortress, and thought I'd come and try relaxing a bit here. You know, get myself back in the right state of mind. But after playing with the cats, I found that I was too relaxed, while the study of the stars and penning papers requires a certain seriousness. That's totally normal. Maybe you just haven't played enough. If you cut playtime short and force yourself to work, it's no surprise that you won't be able to focus. Just don't think about anything. Empty your head completely, and just take a nap when you tire yourself out from playing. You'll definitely be full of energy and enthusiasm the next day. That would be ideal anyway, but what if you still just want to have fun? You do have a point, Paimon, which does fit with another possibility, which is that the current course of fate has yet to come into contact with some key factor. Deadlines are fixed, but days suited to important work are flexible. We must wait for the crucial sign. But for now, I shall follow your advice and stop thinking. I'll continue enjoying myself here in the Furball Fortress. Who knows? The sign that I should pick up my pen just might come tomorrow. Thanks, Null, and you too, Paimon. There's no one in these. Okay, that's for next time. That's for next time. And that's for next time. And there's nothing upstairs. I think it's just a ledge, right? Yeah. Oh, there's one more here. Okay, so there's 3 out here, 4 and 5. So I'm guessing it's over the course of 5 days. Yep. This one unlocks in 4 hours. So today, next. Okay, cool. So that'll be finished up next week. Not playing with the cats? Or do you have a takeout order for me to take care of? What do you think of this job? You did say that, Jua. I'm remembering now. You don't seem to play with the cats much. Do you find this boring? It's alright. Boring and interesting are relative. I don't anticipate any major incidents or accidents occurring here. It's a very ordinary job, a little different from staying at the church. No, there are some differences. Some of these cats are very clever, and they understand me just fine. I find interacting with them interesting enough. And even though Valerina is quite similar to Victoria in... quite similar to Victoria in the way she finds things for me to do, they do have very different ways of doing things. It's a fresh experience, I suppose, and that in itself is new. It's not a bad feeling. Well, that's great. Paimon thinks you get along pretty well with Valerina and the cats, really. You do indeed get along well. Thank you, and I hope things stay that way. Now, tell me, this is the important question. Which cat is your favorite? Which cat do you like the most? Paimon's curious too. Have you ever found a cat you'd like to get close to or want to take good care of? That's rather sudden, but I suppose it's natural for people to be curious about things like that. I would say no. Wow, that was quick. I knew it. Different people have their own definitions of the word like. To me, right now, there's no living being or object I think of in those terms. That said, it's about the same for things I dislike. My willingness to care for these cats, to spend my time on them, is because it's my job. Or should I say that it's a problem before me that requires little effort on my part to solve, so why not? If nothing else, this job's presented me with some pleasant surprises. I'd consider that good enough. Paimon didn't really get that, but it sounds positive? No worries, Paimon. I'll understand Rosario for the both of us. Don't overthink it. Life's like a placid lake most of the time. You just need to get used to it. And if you can't, I'm sure someone of your ability can change all you see before you. Good luck either way. Nice. And then you don't have anything new to say now, right? Yep. Food and drinks? Huh? Did you set up a kitchen in here, Valerina? Paimon hasn't seen one. And what about the chef? Or are you gonna step up to the plate? As you can see, while this place isn't officially open yet, some guests still stay here for long periods of time. And I wouldn't say making them go out and buy food and drinks themselves is an ideal situation. As such, I've set things up with Sarah at Good Hunter so that if our guests have requests for takeout, they can leave them with me, then Miss Rosaria or I will put the order in at Good Hunter. I'm not running this place to make a profit, so the prices for ordering takeout will be the same as getting it straight from the restaurant. Wait, you're not even charging them for the delivery fee? I'm sure our guests will be thrilled to be able to enjoy delicious food at the original price while playing with the cats. Right? Even if you think it's a great idea, even you think it's a great idea, don't you, Cat Whisperer? Once the fortress officially opens, this can be one of its selling points. The more people we attract, the more likely the cats are to find a suitable owner. Once the number of visitors and the rate at which I adopt cats reaches a nice balance, I'll consider expanding the scale of our operations. I mean, there's only a certain number of people in Mondstadt. What if you get to a point where everyone has a cat? Which is also not likely, but you can't take in more cats if you're not, if they're not being adopted out. I think you'd have to just either keep hoarding more cats and just like basically have your own cat cafe without the adoption part, or just kind of maintain, it would stagnate. I shouldn't be reading into their business model. This is not my job. Once that happens, we'll be able to add a management area and areas in which other stray animals can be adopted. Though that's an issue I'll have to plan out in the future. Just leave the business operations and data gathering to me. Don't sweat that stuff. Thank you. I'm glad she told me. Or expand things beyond Mondstadt. That's also true. Okay. Oh wait, we do. That's the achievement, and then that's... Okay, cool. Alright. Where's my music? Give me 1 second. Okay. Alright. Remember to claim rewards for the Hangout as well. Oh, that's a good point. I claimed one of them, but I don't think I claimed the last one. Perfect. Thank you, Jua. I did not claim that last one. Cool. Alright. Thanks everyone for chilling out here. Just having fun with the events and the Hangouts. The Hangouts are something I'll work through slowly in the upcoming days. Or weeks, I guess, rather. Next stream is going to be Wind Waker. And then we'll probably, barring any major things happening, we'll keep to our, Genshin streams at the beginning of the week and Wind Waker at the end. Let me check that name that you sent earlier, Jua. Is this... Okay, so that VA that you sent is also a Funimation VA as well. Oh, that's cool. But no, she's not live, so that's fine. Let's see who we can raid right now. That person's been going for a while. Does anyone have any raid suggestions while I go through these? I also want to make sure that I'm... Hang on, let me listen in on their stream and see if they're close to ending. I think... Yeah, it looks like they're doing some Star right now. Let's go ahead and raid Veiled Grey. I tried to raid them that one time, and it was right as they ended, so that was unfortunate. Oops. Yep. And thank you, Jua, for the raid messages. Let me copy this one down as well. Alright. And we will start the raid. I'm just, like, they've been going for 5 hours, and I'm afraid that they're just gonna stop at any, like, given moment. So let's just go ahead and do this real quick. Alright. Thanks, everyone, for being here, for chilling out, and, relaxing. I hope everyone is doing well, and that their weeks go well. Yo, Waffle, welcome in. But yeah, thanks again, and I will see you on the next one. Have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are. And, yeah, appreciate you all being here. Take care. Bye.